The 2018 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you in part by Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA.
The three lions were hungry and they feasted on bacon, apple pie, and the tears of Americans all over the country. Welcome back, everyone, to the Overwatch World Cup of 2018. Oh, my word.
Wow. I
Whew,
don't know what to say, honestly. Like, USA were supposed to win this World Cup.
Yeah.
And now they're out in the quarter. That was so
crazy.
surprising.
Like, I thought that they had a good chance of being able to defeat South Korea this year if they made it to the semi-finals. They were so confident, they were so prepared, the coaching was all there, the play was all there, but it just fell out of their fingers on stage.
Wow.
This is the biggest upset in World Cup history by far.
Hands down, Brian,
Absolutely.
hands down.
Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm sat here with an American flag on my chest, but you do know that I did always have faith in the boys in the red, blue, and white Team UK. I always knew they were going to do it. I'm not actually Stylosa, but can I get some blue in this? It's not all red, I swear to God. There we go.
Show me those armpits. Show me those armpits.
This is just pure lies, though, because really nobody thought they were going to do it, even slightly. Like, even the Oracle of Bren could not have predicted that this was going to happen.
Oh,
but what a
man.
nuts way to start off the World Cup.
I know, and you know, there is one person who is particularly very happy about the way that this all panned out, and that is Hayes. You know Hayes is very happy with that. As a matter of fact, we have Frankie who's standing by with Hayes. What's going on?
I'm not just standing by with Hayes, I'm standing by with all of the lines, because when I say let's go, you say... There we go, we'll work on that. We're going to work on that, because these guys are in the semi-final, and I know there are a lot of shocked faces in this arena and watching at home. Hayes, are you surprised to be stood here right now?
I mean, I definitely knew we could win this game. It just feels unreal that we actually managed to do it. We played so well today. I'm really happy with the guys.
Who is your MVP of this team? Because I know I've got my favorite here.
I would definitely say Fusions was a big part of our win today. You know, he's like one of the core parts of our whole communication line. And when we're playing Ryan, he's going, let's go forward. Everyone follows. We played so well as a team. But I'd say Fusions took it today.
And when you drew the USA back in the Paris group stage, what was your reaction? Because they're the tournament favorites.
When we played against France?
Well, after you played against France, that's when you drew USA, because we did the draw back in Paris. So what was your reaction then?
I mean, USA, they definitely have a stacked team. We figured if we play our own game and sort of force them into our play style, we have a way better chance, which is what we aim for. But USA are definitely a stacked team, and we knew it would be tough.
The thing is, you've knocked out the guys that we thought were going to win, so does that mean you're going to win now?
Sorry, I couldn't.
You knocked out Team USA. We thought they'd win. So now you've done it. Do you think you can win this whole thing?
I think we can definitely win the whole thing. I mean, people were on Twitter saying, oh, Canada versus USA finals, just totally overlooking us, which was kind of sad, but we proved today that we deserve to be here.
You did indeed, my friends. I can't wait to celebrate. We're going to group hug now, so let's head back to Golden Boy and the Desk Lock Gang.
Thank you so much, Frankie, for that one. And
She tried with that one.
Yeah, you know, I will also say those pom-poms have gotten a lot of mileage.
They have.
You know,
they really have.
I wouldn't be shocked if we have a random fan in the arena that happens to have one of the other pom-poms.
Make it merch.
I know, right? Make it merch. Let's go. I just want some royalties. Okay, so. Wow, this is, I mean,
Crazy.
I don't even know, where to go. Okay, there is one thing, though, that I know you guys wanted to highlight in specific, because it kind of showed the difference between what we saw in the UK versus USA.
Yeah, and I think it also showed what the difference between USA and the groups and what they had prepared and what they actually came out on stage with. And that's how many different compositions they were fielding. They really looked a little lost at times. So when you look at the amount of heroes that the DPS players on the UK played and the amount of players, the amount of heroes that the DPS players on Team UK played, the US players were playing way more. You know, they were throwing everything at the wall and just seeing what could stick. Zachary at times playing Genji into Brigitte, where we had question marks about it. Sinatra's flexing onto the tank to take heroes away from Muma, who at times looked a little shaky
But
today.
even Zachary, specifically on Volskaya, you know, he swapped heroes pretty much all the time, and it felt like he didn't really know what to go to. And I think that's the result of being so good at so many different compositions and not having a leader saying, we're playing this comp specifically, and so Zacchary's like, should I play the Widowmaker? Or we're going dive with the Genji? Should I be Brigitte? And so
I do want to mention as well, though, Johnny, that because we're really talking about USA, essentially. We're very USA focused right now, but the UK as a team played very, very well.
Yeah, they
did. All expectations.
The tanks
across the board. The tank play from Fusions,
so good.
This guy coming in, I call it the reverse reinforce. I mean, it might be true here because he's actually winning it. So this is absolutely insane.
It's okay, Pop.
But in terms of the final blows that they actually were able to accomplish, remember, Team UK got blown out in the first map. They didn't get a single final blow. And at the end of the day, Smex ends up with 38 eliminations compared to the Space's 28, a full 10 more. And then in terms of the main tanks, it's 37 compared to 29. So these young kind of rookie players who are not in the Overwatch League are outplaying some real juggernauts for Team USA.
And so USA, they're really confident with this Ghost. They obviously played it versus the UK. But we know Europe as the home of triple tank, triple support play. And I mean, even Finland playing Ninjas and Pyjamas playing triple tank 2 years ago. You know, they are the kings of this composition. And so USA not really having the time to scrim and practice versus European teams, I think that really hurt them because they were so confident playing versus North American teams in practice. And then they face these, I mean, giants in terms of triple tank play in Europe that they've never played before against, and they're just shocked by the skill that actually comes out. So
I think in our conversations with Team USA as well, you know, you made the joke about them oozing with confidence, and you know they definitely
really
were. Every single team we spoke to was like, USA, if they do not win out on their side of the bracket, I will be absolutely blown away. And this is the world that we live in now. And what's even more impressive about this is that you have Team USA that have multiple Overwatch League players in this roster. Just one player was not an OWL player. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have a lot of upstarts, a lot of fresh faces that I think
UK had one.
Yeah, one OWL player, and that was your runner-up Boombox for the finals. And also the impact that he had was stupendous there. I mean, this is something that I don't think anyone had believed it would happen, and I think all of us are in utter shock. I can't wait to go to Reddit. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. I can't wait. But yeah, and now like we're in this position where who's the favorite now?
I mean, even coming into the tournament, I think you would have said that South Korea perhaps have to be the favorites given all of the history, but Team USA were right up with them. So it's got to default back to Team South Korea. Having said that, if triple tank, triple support is this powerful so that the USA wasn't able to master it or wasn't able to beat it, then maybe Team France, Team Finland, guys who were better than the UK when it came to the group stages, are they now the favorites? Maybe.
Yeah, Finland has to be the favorite in my opinion because of their triple tank, triple support play. I mean, they've played this for so long, and they also have Seita, the coach, who was the originator of this triple tank, triple support comp in many ways. Not specifically this version, but way back. And so I think that Finland are the favorites if we see more of this composition. But then again, UK, they even played double sniper compositions and outplayed USA in many ways.
The
so
thing is
UK
now,
showed some different compositions in their play as well.
I'm looking at this upset here. This is arguably the biggest upset in World Cup history.
It is.
Right?
It is.
What's going to happen next? We got this is actually madness. We've got Australia going to be playing up against South Korea later on as well.
Okay. do you have
Excuse me.
Okay,
let's just lay this out for anyone who's new to Overwatch, maybe watching it for the first time. South Korea, this team, they've changed up their roster drastically in recent times. They haven't had as much practice time, and Australia have been directly prepping for South Korea alone. Like, anything could happen here in this World Cup. It is madness.
And remember that UK said if they won a map, they consider that to be a win. If they just won a map, they were satisfied with that. Okay, and you think about how Australia is going to approach it. They have been specifically preparing for South Korea. This is anyone's ball game here at the Overwatch World Cup. This is exactly what we want to see, people. I love it. All right, well, for now, though, two people I love, as a matter of fact, are actually going to be down over at the floor. We got Puckett and Zoe. See how the fans are reacting to that match.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. That's right, it's Puckett, it's Zoe, and we've got your T-Mobile fan polls brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest unlimited network. Now, Zoe, I'm crying inside. I'm a little bit bummed here. My USA chants are over before it even began.
Hey, there's still plenty of teams to cheer for. Right, guys?
A few more teams.
And we want to see the reactions from the internet. So we, of course, bringing you the T-Mobile fan polls, where we will be reading out your tweets. So let's see what people had to say.
All right, first up, Lads, it's happening. UK are tied versus USA. My hype winnable, Freddie. It was just the beginning, buddy.
Oh yeah, it was. And it was absolutely winnable, and it was very hype. I hoped to see such a close game for the first match on this stage, and I was not disappointed.
Absolutely, fusions popping off throughout that, but it was a team effort. We had people chiming in from all over the world. Of course, that was some of the UK fans. Let's check out what's next for us. It's coming. Found it.
It's coming home!
That's right.
That's right. Second chance for England, or rather the UK this year, and I think they can make it happen.
You think so?
I think so,
The distance.
absolutely.
They beat the best team coming into the tournament, the most practiced team coming into the tournament.
I
It
like
might be
your
onto
quotation
something.
marks.
All
It's
right.
really hard with cue cards.
We
though,
got
so I can do that.
one more before the break here. Did we actually just win that? Lads, I'm shook. Team UK all the way, fam. Let's win this whole thing. You agree with Maya?
Yes.
Yeah? Are you on the UK fan
Nah, I
bus?
gotta be honest with you. I mean, I'm obviously not biased, and I'm Swiss and completely neutral, and
Always.
I'm absolutely cheering for France. Say what?
Say what? France fans, did you guys hear that? So is cheering
I'm kind
for
of a
France.
They're
A
my
little bit.
neighbors. They're my neighbors. Switzerland didn't make it. I had to go for the closest thing to home, really. And you too can get involved in that T-Mobile Fan Polls conversation. All you have to do is head on over to Twitter using the hashtag OWWC2018 and let us know what you're thinking about the games.
Absolutely. We want to see what you guys are thinking. Keep those hashtags coming all weekend long. For now, Blizzcon, make some noise, because when we come back, we got a big one. It's Canada taking on France.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
What's going on, Overwatch fans? My name is Q from the Team Canada Committee. You know, there are 7 other fantastic teams here at Blizzcon representing their country, but no matter who you're rooting for, I know deep down our Canadian spirit, pride, grit, and energy are infectious and will inevitably turn you to a fan of our team and players if you weren't already one. So quickly before I go, I want you all to do me a little favor, okay? When Team Canada comes out to the stage, I want to try something different that's not really a cheer or a chant. So I want everybody, whether you're at BlizzCon or you're at home or you're on your phone on your couch watching the event, to raise up your right hand like this and make a little O. Okay, now once you do that, I want you to close your fist with your thumb out a little bit and tap your right chest twice. Now that stands for O Canada in sign language, because sometimes silence is the most powerful voice we have. And we want to let our actions speak for themselves. I took that from a fortune cookie. That is not my quote. Good luck to everybody else out there. Go Canada, go. Good luck.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Overwatch World Cup, and our first match is in the books. Congratulations to the United Kingdom for the unbelievable win. And it's time to find out whether or not Team Canada or Team France, actually, will be joining them in the semifinals. Welcome back. I'm Golden Boy. I got Bren, Reinforced Sideshow. It's been a fun day so far. Some great matches, and man, what a time it's been here at Blizzcon, fellas. This has just been... It's just been insane.
This is about as exciting as it gets, honestly. We started out with a matchup where USA were heavily favored, and then UK comes down as the underdog and actually gets the win. So, I mean, it can't, I want to say it can't get any better, but it probably will get better from here. So, yeah. I don't know what to expect, really.
I know. I could not agree with you more, Reinforced. But for now, let's actually send it over to Fiona, who has Poco from Team France.
Bonjour tout le monde! Allez la France! So excited. We just had an amazing game, which was USA versus UK. I don't think anyone was expecting that at all. But I'm lucky enough to have Poco here, one of the best players on the French team. Am I fangirling a little bit? Just a little bit, just a little bit. But anyway, we just have a few questions, and I will be translating it to you guys at home. So anyways, Poco, how are you feeling? How's it going? Tu te sens comment? Comment tu te sens?
Je me sens plutôt bien. Il y a le public à côté. Ça devrait bien se passer.
All right, he's saying he feels really great. He has his supporters right here just for him. And now I want to know personally, how do you feel about the Canada team? Like, who are the players that you're focusing or you're worried about? Alors, je veux bien savoir comment tu te sens de l'équipe Canada.
Le Canada ont des très bonnes individualités, mais on a juste à focus XQC et ça devrait bien se passer.
All right, they're going to focus XQC. I don't know if he's going to hear that. He thinks everything's going to go well, guys, so we're going to end it off here, and we're going to toss it over back to the desk, guys.
Thank you so much, Fiona, for that one. Wow, she's having a blast out there. That looks like the section you want to be in.
I know. The Paris World Cup stop was nuts as well. Those fans are so passionate. And with the new Team Paris and the Overwatch League as well, and these players all have very high hopes for what they'll be able to achieve here at the World Cup, that could be the cheering section you want to be in.
Very true. Now, I also understand, though, they called out one player in particular.
They did.
They called out XQC. And it's funny that they called him out because, I have a very... I guess I'm blessed here to have three people who lived with XQC at one point in time. That was like, you guys lived with him for a good while. Like forever.
I wanted to initially say no to the idea, but then I realized that it was too good of an adventure to miss out on. So I just wanted to be along for the ride.
Adventure is one word for it, Johnny.
Yeah,
I wouldn't describe it in the same sense, but you're entitled to your opinion, even if it's wrong.
Okay. XQC's a very individual personality, right, in Overwatch. He's very unique. And I think the reason that they're trying to focus him is that he's kind of got a weird mentality where sometimes he can get ahead of himself and he doesn't have the most kind of experience playing in a team. And when we were living with him as well, he is a unique individual.
I mean, I bought earplugs just so I could sleep at night. A great investment, by the way, but yeah, it just describes the experience. Really.
Now, and you guys did live with the guy, and I understand we have exclusive behind-the-scenes footage
we do indeed.
Of living with XQC.
This is my incredible camera work, as I showed all the stuff that he left back at our place, actually, because he was living with us for a while, and then he just decided, he needed a new place, but we had a little storage unit that we said, yeah, sure, keep some stuff here, but Felix, what are we supposed to do with it now? We just got all of your stuff.
I actually asked Felix personally because I was like, listen, mate, we've got all of your stuff still. Like, what do you want us to do with it? And he said something along his like, I don't know, dudes. I'd just give it away to some fans or something. My doggies.
My doggies.
I think he added my doggies at the end. So I have actually brought it with me. So
are you serious?
Yeah, I've managed to. This is going to take some maneuvering. I got a bunch of XQC stuff. And I'm actually going to be giving it out to some fans. I think round about now. You guys have got the segment, right? You guys are okay without me?
Sure.
Yeah,
are you
okay. Yeah, I'm bouncing. See you later.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
We've still got a whole pre-show to do.
We still got to talk. You know what? It's okay, though. It's just Bren. We're not really missing all that much. So I think we'll be...
He just
walked off.
Goodbye, Bren. Okay.
What is going on right now?
Do you want to Do you want to talk about XQC in game, or?
I mean,
you're the host. Help me out.
Like, I'm trying over here, but every single time I try and do something, it gets progressively more ridiculous as time goes on. My heart cannot handle this stuff.
Okay.
All right, let's try and get back on the rails here. We're gonna have to finish without Bren. You know, so I guess let's just talk about, you know, XQC and this Team Canada roster. This is actually a pretty solid squad and a pretty formidable roster.
Absolutely. Yeah. They like to play a style around XQC's Winston play, but he's also very comfortable on the Reinhardt. They don't tend to play the triple tank, triple support as much. They try and break it, which we saw USA do, and it was fairly successful. And when they matched, maybe not, but I think we'll see a lot of Canada trying to break triple tank.
But they need to
France.
stick to it, right? What USA didn't do was they didn't stick to the Doomfist and the Sombra and the Pharah. So I want Canada to properly stick to this composition, and they have players like Surefour to back up XQC. So I'm looking forward to this Canada squad.
They need to have a plan, and I want to actually find out what's going on with Team Canada. We actually have Mika standing by with XQC from Team Canada.
That's right. I am here with the man of the hour, XQC himself. Everyone's been talking about him.
Hi, Mika. Hi, Felix. So I realized there was supposed to be an interview going on here, but I feel like we could give out some of this stuff to the fans instead of that. Are you cool with that? You cool with that?
Let's start with the old stuff.
Okay. Sure.
You're ready? Who wants it? Yeah, this guy right here. Hey, Fred.
Yeah, sure, toss it.
Go for it.
What in the heck is going on? This is a madhouse. XQC is throwing his own clothing to the crowd. Bren has...
There's a keyboard in there. Don't throw the keyboard. You'll maim somebody.
Please do not throw the Bren.
There's random cables in that box.
Why are there cables in there?
Who wants an HDMI cable, everybody?
There's a hanger.
A broken coat hanger. I mean, did anyone vet the things that were in this box?
I don't think anyone is.
Honestly, I think the box is the most important thing.
What is...
That's the most ridiculous thing I think we've ever seen.
What's up? Can't even...
Yeah, that was a thing.
That was the thing. That was the thing that we did.
Come to Blizzcon and you can have a chance to get XQC stuff.
You know, I'm just saying, right? Anything can happen at Blizzcon. So if you are not here, clearly you are missing out. Well, you know, our teams are ready, and it's time to get this match going. And first up, let's take a look for Team Canada's road to Blizzcon.
4 Overwatch League stars, 2 incredible contenders competitors, and a Canuck looking for redemption. Canada is full of colourful leaves that the fans adore. From Surefour's creativity, Note's reliability, Agility's versatility, and XQC's survivability, the Canadians are not monkeying around. The team talked a big game coming into the Los Angeles group stage, determined to take down their American rivals. They couldn't do it in LA, but now they'll have a rematch just 40 miles away in Anaheim. Unwavering in their efforts to show how strong the North can be against the best in the world. Their coach Jane has said that the team thrives on chaos, so we'll see what they can do in front of this incredible, chaotic crowd. Here at BlizzCon, Team Canada are ready to go again.
Team Canada here at the Overwatch World Cup 2018, your runner-ups last year, and we lost Surefour.
Well, the guy's looking all chilled out, but honestly, he's one of the most important players for this team, I think. He's got so much experience coming from the LA Gladiators, where he proved that, you know, he's not a guy that was washed up in any sense, ended up being one of the best DPS in the West, and he's going to attempt to carry them here with his incredibly intelligent Sombra play.
Yeah, I think we can expect a lot of Sombra and Doomfist compositions, and Surefour being, I would argue, the best Sombra in the world, actually. I think that, I think that this is a squad that can do some damage. It just matters, like, will they get countered? by their opponents, or can they sufficiently deal with an anti-goats comp with France?
Hi, lads. How's it going?
Hello, welcome back.
To add on to Johnny's point, seamlessly, might I add, as well, as I just ran from the stage, this was honestly quite ridiculous. I like your point there where you're talking about Surefour's Sombra. I do want to add on to that. When we asked them specifically, the teams, what makes Surefour stand out when it comes to the Sombra players, he said he's very intelligent when it comes to assaulting the backline with his hacks, prioritizing different targets. So a lot of people will, yeah, exactly. He prioritizes the hack a lot of the times on the Lucio player to almost get a free kill from on the Ana or whatever other compositions they're running in the backline. It's one thing they pointed out that you need to look forward to as well into this match.
Yeah, very, very well done from Team Canada thus far, getting to this point. But their opponents, though, they are no slouches whatsoever. And we know that their fans are some of the best in the Overwatch community. It's none other than Team France.
You were not prepared for Paris. Sure, Team France has some Overwatch League players. They have a Contenders Europe veteran. They have a retired player. But they also had the Parisian people singing along with the Six. Did you hear them?
Crowd, of course, very, very supportive here in Paris.
Team France burst into the Overwatch World Cup Paris group stage. Riding the wave of energy the French fans built, they steamrolled everyone who opposed them.
A bit lower,
Soon was home, at the source of his power, and he's never played better or looked happier doing it.
putting on a show for his home crowd.
Ben Best, the Rocky Balboa of Overwatch, showed that he is ready for the biggest stage in our sport.
Frank's going for a ride.
Team France are a long way from Paris. And now, halfway around the world, they'll look to channel the energy of everyone who is avec le six to bring their moving group stage performance to Blizzcon.
And there you have Team France as they get ready for their matchup against their Canadian brethren. And this is a squad that I've been pumped for this event because we're kind of getting the old gang back together with this roster here. Some familiar faces for longtime Overwatch fans and, of course, the French Overwatch community.
My dream is honestly to have a French super team at some point in the Overwatch League. I feel like that would be honestly incredible, especially with the passion of fans and everything else. But this region in particular, it's crazy how stacked they are with talent individually, from head to toe.
And looking back at old rosters that performed incredibly well, now they have Poco, who fills that off-tank slot that they always missed out on. And France, you know, in the group stages were like a better version of the UK, and Canada in the group stages were like a worse version of the US. And we saw how that went.
Yeah, but there was some doubt around this team. When we spoke with them in our meeting itself, they even said themselves that they were a bit nervous going up against the Netherlands out of all teams when they had to qualify. And that just tells me like the Netherlands cannot be a team you're worried about if you're a top team. So that leads me to believe that they're actually not quite as strong as some of the other teams we have here, but knowing France, these are veterans in the game. I played with some of them, and France needs to be reckoned with.
And also, I do want to kind of bring us back a year ago for 2017 Overwatch World Cup. France nearly beat South Korea. I don't know, I don't know if people remember that. So this is, regardless, this is a strong team. Let's get some predictions out here, boys. Brendan, unfortunately, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, okay, cheers, pal. Just throw me like that. It's all good, don't worry. It's a lot of love here on the desk. Only when we're on camera, though. Off camera, we just hate each other.
But go for it.
For my prediction, I'm going to be going for Team France here. I feel like they've had more time to practice here. They seem like the stronger team in theory right now. And Canada, I don't feel like they've got the practice in necessary to beat a team like France.
I got to go with Canada for this one. 3-2.
Wow. Okay.
Whoa, okay, because I'm edging towards France. I think it's a very close game, but I think we've seen the triple tank, triple support. It's just too good right now, and France are really good.
Oh, boy, this is going to be a good one, folks. Let's get hyped in the arena. I'm excited. We got another game coming up. We got France. We got Canada. We have two amazing casters to send it over to. Is none other than ZP and Jake.
Thank you, Golden Boy. And man, this has been a day already. The USA going down in flames and XQC stuff all over the arena. Look, the one lesson you got to take here is that this is the Overwatch World Cup, and Jake, anything can happen.
If you're an Overwatch fan and you like memes, you've certainly got plenty of fodder for their production now. Definitely can't ask for much more than this. Team USA falling so early. What a disappointment. That team really looked to be potentially the year for Team USA, but now Team UK really surging forward. But here in this match, we get to see a very similar matchup, I think. You know, of course, we compared France to Team UK, and we compared Canada to Team US, and I think that comparison makes a lot of sense. They're both both Team France and Team UK are those really heavy tank rosters, and Team Canada, Team USA are those defined by that individual skill, those really high-level Sombra Doomfist plays. So really, in a lot of ways, we get to see the meta stacked up against each other here in these matches.
No doubt about it. And of course, you take a look at Team France, they're a team that has really trained with some of the best, right? Where they put a lot of their scrim time against Eagle Gaming. They know how to run goats, that 3-3 tank support composition. But Canada, they are no slouch as well. They know what to expect here. Did talk with Jane a little bit in the beginning, and he says, you know what, we think we can take this. But first map coming up here, and this is a new one. Busan going to be starting things out.
Busan, we have not seen much competitive play on this map, so this is going to be really exciting here. Start to see how it plays out with these top-level teams. Get some strategies that you can take over to your ranked games in Overwatch.
Now, of course, we get a little bit of a preview of what the teams are doing, and France not going to be going full go to start things out here. It's going to go for that setup that is quite good against Doomfist. It's going to be AKM making a triumphant return on the McCree.
You know, this is a comp that we've been seeing more and more of in the competitive scene. It's been slowly gaining momentum. Buff after buff has been applied to McCree, and now he's a really versatile, powerful character, a lot more mobility and range than he previously had. So France looking to build around AKM as their centerpiece.
Meanwhile, for Canada, we're going to be taking a look at Mangachu. Or Mangachu, he told us about his new Pharah style, where, of course, it is his signature hero. And he says he just wants to go right in, make people uncomfortable. Full-on dive Pharah, but so far, what we're seeing is that AKM landing some good shots to keep him out.
Mangachu definitely a strong Pharah, but it's so difficult to get in against AKM. Unco always going to be on point, putting that Discord on the Pharah. Mangachu is really going to struggle to get in. You're seeing how hard he's being poked here. Surefour, though, opens it up onto wins. That's exactly the pick they needed.
Nice early pick for Canada. Now Mangachu, he knows he has room to work with. Moving on in. Canada taking the aggressive stance here off that early pickoff. And Canada going to be taking form here in this first point. But even as they win the fight, France got the point first, so they're still working a bit behind.
Yeah, this initial cap from France based on their better compositional pick. Ooh, Surefour just barely saved by the armor pack with AKM on it, but, you know, Canada is going to get this flip, and now they do have that Widowmaker Pharah. This is an incredibly powerful defensive composition. We saw how hard it was for Canada to get past the choke point, and France is going to experience much the same problem, but this delay is just perfectly executed by Team France. They're moving up to 30% on the point. This is a crucial objective gameplay.
It's a key concept here is that, you know, you don't just want to lose, you want to lose well, and for France, they might have lost that fight, but they got 29% on the objective.
And here you're going to see Mangachu playing close to these chokes. It's so much harder now for AKM to get past those tight choke points. He has to worry about Surefour's Widowmaker sightlines, and at the same time, he's constantly being spammed by Mangachu. That's so much pressure to respond to. AKM, this is really his time to pop off.
No doubt, France can do everything they can do, but there's a Mangachu from the side, drops the barrage, immediately removes Unco. And again, when you get that man advantage, Canada gets to go so aggressive. They don't have to respect the tankiness. They can go right in, and France right now does not have an answer.
AKM just not able to get any shots up on McCree. There's so much pressure on him. This is showing Canada really understanding the matchup. They know that AKM's really that core damage dealer from Team France, so they make sure to initiate on him before he gets into those open spaces that McCree loves so much. France, they need to do a little bit better with their map movements here. You need to slip past Surefour, but with his wall hacks available now, Infrasight is going to be so devastating. It's so hard to push into from a defensive Widowmaker like this.
You talk about it a lot, Jake, where once the Infrasight is up, the best move is just wait, but France, they don't really have that time. They need to get back to the point. They're in two-fight territory now. Surefour, though, wasn't quite able to get the pickup. Uses the Infrasight, and you know what? You didn't need that to see the Diva in his face. AKM on the point. Deadeye up, looking for anything, but not gonna find it here just yet. Sound barrier invested by France as they're looking to get back onto the point. Now, Poco was able to chase down Surefour as that was going on. It's a 6-on-5 for France now, and when you're running this tanky comp, it's hard to dislodge when you lose your Widow.
AKM needs to start producing here with the Widow down. This is his time to shine. He only has to worry about 1 DPS. Here he is flanking behind, but he just can't finish off these flying characters. There he is, though, finds Mangachu. Crimzo falling to the floor. He's got no one to pocket now. AKM rolling around, just cleaning up these final members of Team Canada, but Team Canada approaching 99% capture. All they need to do is get one flip here. So it's going to be Team France. They need to hold firm and not give any ground from this point on the first map of Busan.
France must be perfect from this point forward. Canada with time and opportunity.
The struggle, though, it's going to be so hard to use this ultimate that Mangachu does have. It's so difficult to get a barrage off, but Benbest out of position, completely destroyed by the overwhelming might of Team Canada. Mangachu slipping in. What a barrage! Finds it somehow against this counter comp.
Drops the barrage, open things up. Canada coming back in with a vengeance. And the French team getting pushed off the point. 94% for Canada. And now it's do or die for France. Just to delay, just to buy time. Will anyone even get here? No! Canada taking round number 1.
Poco playing so well there for that retake, getting on Surefour, putting him out of the fight so that AKM can fight the Pharah. But once they're on that defensive situation, Benbest getting caught out. I think that's a crucial conk mine from Mangachu, pulling him away from his team, and the French roster wasn't really able to surround and protect their Reinhardt. And once McCree loses that shield, he's a lot more scared of characters like Widow and Pharah. So it really all snowballed from there for Team Canada, where they take the first map.
And one thing that we saw there quite heavily too is that AKM was paying a lot of attention to Mangachu, but Mangachu was using the terrain very well, where in a sense he was removing the McCree just by making himself sort of enough to try to attack, but not enough for him actually to fall. So AKM was distracted that entire time.
Exactly. AKM, he's sort of forced to tunnel vision that Pharah because he's the only character that can answer it. But here we're going to get into the second map and maybe see a similar matchup. No, this time Mangachu on the Doomfist. Feels like the geometry favors Doomfist a little bit more on this map, and I really agree. This is one of the strongest maps for Doomfist based on how you can use his techniques. Let's see what Mangachu does to open up this mid fight.
Hey, there's only 29 heroes in Overwatch, but if there were 1,000, Mangachu would be the man of 1,000 heroes, one of the most versatile players in the scene. And we'll see just what he does here this Doomfist, as Canada is going to take it a little bit slow.
Looking to work their way in here, but the point's about to open, and it's France who's applying capture pressure. Surefour coming back from spawn, resetting on this Sombra. They're going to have to stop the point, but again, France with the initial flip, and this time they get XQC.
They focus on XQC, they said it's their game plan, and this time they confirm Mangachu under trouble, has to back out, was able to get out, but France is getting what they want here. They get first control again, but they look way more solid this time. Why do you think that is?
I think their composition is a lot more effective with the geometry of this map in mind. It's so hard for Surefour to get any value on the Sombra. What he really wants to be doing is opening up on those flanks and farming a bit of ult, but here's the ult from AKM, high nooning all the way into the spawn. He wants more, can't find Crimzo. This could be an overextension by Team France. They look to retreat here, don't want to overinvest in an ult like high noon, but still a ton of zoning coming out.
Well, you see them holding the line right here at this choke point. They're forcing Canada back. Canada knows you don't want to dive right on into the brigade in this situation, but now France going back the other way. Self-destruct led the way. Made space for AKM to get the early pickoff, and France, where a huge advantage as AKM continues to clean up.
AKM showing why he's been long considered one of the most dominant hit skins in the game, but Surefour somehow just switched to McCree and already has a high noon. He wants to go toe-to-toe, and Canada with the Zenyatta, they're going to have a little bit of a damage advantage. France won that last fight off a few key ultimates, but it's going to be a lot tougher this time.
Deadeye coming up here. Shatter coming in. France off Benbest. Just going to mow him on down. Canada now in dangerous territory here, Jake. Might be down to their final fight.
I thought Canada had a perfect high noon there, catching France out, but it's Benbest with the all-in aggro shatter, finds absolutely everybody, and now Canada, they're scrambling to get to the point. Another high noon in the spawn. Speed boosts it in.
He speed boosts the Deadeye, doesn't get it. Oh, got the back. That's going to be enough. That's a huge delay now. But Canada, they have no time to waste. They have a Baby Diva. They still got to go in.
Such intelligent play here from Team France. With the Baby Diva, it's so hard to push. She needs to get that remech, but she has to get aggressive just to get to the point here. So hard for Note to get back in this mech, but Benbest goes down. It's XQC winning the fight this time, and now he's pushing closer and closer to his shatter, only 50% off of it.
XQC so good at Reinhardt v. Reinhardt. Canada not out of it yet. Surefour, the higher of noons, finding AKM, gets on the Soon. The flank from Surefour sent it up, and XQC gonna knock the rest down. Canada retaking here when their backs are against the wall, but now they must be perfect to win the round.
It's a beautiful retake, but exactly as you said, France has this opportunity to slow things down, build up that big bank of ultimates. And now, what a great swap from AKM. He gets off the McCree and onto the Zarya. Now that both teams are on these heavy tanky matchups, it's so much more difficult for XQC to challenge Benbest than the other way around. That Zarya bubble is so dangerous against a Reinhardt, you can't help but swing into it, and a Torque Zarya is incredibly dangerous. XQC needs to find a lot with this shatter.
Surefour swap back to Sombra. XQC, nice shatter, knocks down 3, but Soon in the back. Able to isolate XQC. Gonna force out the Transcendence here from Canada. They're gonna invest more than they'd probably like to. Oh, they got off the point. France was able to flip in the middle of this, and even though the fight is still very much in contest, Canada not gonna be getting any progress during this. This is essentially a free fight right now for France.
Soon though, overextending with the rally, goes down, doesn't get that ultimate off. That might be another flip back for Team Canada. Mangachu in control with his own rally, absolutely rolling through Team France. A little bit of an overextension there from Soon is gonna cost him the team fight, but still, Canada, they pay a few ultimates for that team fight win, and France with the flip, Canada really didn't make any objective progress. They just held the status quo, so France, they still have a lot of opportunities back into this round.
How do they deal with this EMP from Surefour that is being set up as we speak?
well, the EMP is such an X factor in these comps because your abilities are the most crucial element of it. It's not about your primary weapons as some more DPS-focused comps are. It's all about these abilities, and if Surefour turns them all off, you are in for a rough day. EMP on the Zen.
Nice EMP coming in from Surefour. It's all the people he needs to here, but France, they're still doing fine. Unco, gonna be able to transcend just in the nick of time. France, Hardy, and Hale as they move back onto the point, but Crimson says, we're gonna do a little bit of praying as well. Transcends in from Canada, back the other way. Poco, D-Macked, and France fighting to put this one away. The grab from AKM sets up another two, and France wants to bring this to a round 3, but they still need to do a bit more. They're gonna get more. Can they take the point now and finish it out?
What a beautiful grab from AKM, finding exactly the 3 supports of Team Canada and nobody else. If you put that Ryan and D.Va in the grab, they just end up protecting and tanking for their squishy teammates. But it's AKM's perfect grab that secures that team fight and the round for Team France. As you said, ZP, they're going to map 3, looking really good on that second map. Now the question is, which strategy will dominate Megabase?
It's going to be very interesting. Of course, Megabase, it is a much more closed-in section of Busan, and yet there is a world where you can still make something like a Pharah work. It's just going to be interesting to see what we see. Now, one thing, of course, that is very popular, especially in informal play, is that you do tend to see a lot of Doomfist on that particular stage.
Certainly, I mean, I've seen a lot of different compositions come out on Mechabase, especially in my experience on the ladder. You have these really heavy tanky styles capitalizing on some of the tighter quarters of the map, but there's that huge high ground ring around the point that allows those heavy DPS comps like maybe perhaps a classic triple DPS or a Soldier 76 centered comp. That Soldier 76 can kite forever, but it doesn't look like either team wants to go with that strategy. Canada going with Ana Goats and France with the Zen. I think this gives an advantage to France. It's going to be hard for XQC to fight through this Discord.
And also, this is what France is so comfortable on. They are masters of playing Goat-style gameplay, 3-3, and that's why immediately isolating XQC. Man advantage. Are they going to stop for any reason? No. They're pretty much holding on the W keys here, but now what they've done is at the isolated time to go over back to the point. They've put Canada back, and now they're going to get that first point control again if they play this right.
I like this team comp from Team France. They understand that once they get that Discord on XQC, they can absolutely destroy him. Surefour's gonna get pushed out here. Lucio is saved by the Brigitte, and Ben Best pinning XQC. Someone finding the wisdom, but Manitou, huge pick on 2 supports, manages to escape. He's still putting out damage.
This is such a good stage for Doomfist. So many ways to leap on down, so many ways to land the rocket punch. Manitou, so tanky, gets knocked down, doesn't matter. In for round 2, ding, ding, down goes Ben Best, and Canada getting right back onto the point.
And here we have Crimzo just sitting on the high ground, absolutely untouched, free healing Mangachu. He's essentially unkillable if that Ana doesn't fall. So Mangachu, he understands how aggressive he can get with Doomfist on this map. Let's see that initial opening for that double support pick. That really was the teamfight winner here.
And you look at this, all his abilities up, able to drop on down, have a little bit of an uppercut, and win that fight for Canada.
Ooh, but a hack on XQC is gonna force him out. He can't leave. Both stuns captured on the ground. Mangachu with the nano, not able to get much so far, but he's got his ult. He's gonna go deep.
Oh, looking for it, dropping on down. Not quite gonna get well, gets isolated. France had the proper counter there, just shielded up and immediately punished the Doomfist. They get the man advantage you're looking for, they slow it on down and roll back onto the point.
See, it looks like, oh, the EMP, perfect timing. I thought for sure France was gonna take the flip, but it's Note's EMP and Surefour's perfect timing. I'm sorry, Note's bomb and Surefour's perfect timing on the EMP. The ultimate does come down from Unco, but instantly shut down by Mangachu. France looking really shaky here, getting absolutely demolished on that retake. It looks so good for them to start.
And I think part of that there is that they weren't expecting Canada to invest. They were down a player. Usually you wait, and Canada says, we don't have to wait. This is gonna be good enough.
I like that believing from Team Canada. They know that they don't need all their players alive, and losing a Doomfist early is not such a big deal. He rolls out so fast. XQC, though, bashed and hacked, can't get his Primal Rage off, but France, they're so far from the point, it's hard to capitalize off this pick.
Again, gonna roll back over, EMP charged up. France would love to get a good one here. They're capturing the point, waiting Canada, how they're gonna delay, and you see again, just drop the EMP. They wanna be sure, they're not gonna wait for the full team EMP. The goal here, clean up, retake, because progress is very much not on their side right now.
I like this decision-making from AKM. He understands that maybe he could get away with saving his EMP. Maybe he didn't quite 100% need it, but you just need to end that fight quick and start getting capture on the board. You don't want to let Canada be in a situation where they have that 99% cap and they can just bank ults for the final fight. You want to keep them on their toes, but Canada, I would say they still have an advantage in this round. 4 major ultimates to work with, and of course, D.Va and Doomfist are very quick at farming theirs.
Is Ben Best the key here? Again, Earthshatter before the EMP comes in.
It is going to be really rough with all the control that they got. placed on him. Absolutely destroyed by Doofus and Sombra. That's how it feels to play Reinhardt in this metagame. Mangachu looking for more, absolutely dominating, sending everyone running from the point, but that's the objective they need to protect.
You see Canada rolling back on in. Of course, if they're able to retake here, France is going to have very little time. They might be able to touch a point check, but they're not going to have positioning.
Team Canada looking really good. Oh, what a push out. Sombra doesn't even get the touch. Not going to be able to trigger overtime. Someone else has to go to point.
We'll see who's going to be. France immediately going in. They drop the barrier, but it only hits Wins and Benbest. It wasn't a great barrier, but it was under pressure. Mangachu diving on in. France, the Poco Bomb finds Sureform. France not done yet. Rolling back in. Man advantage, XQC. Primal Rage done. But no one's looking at him. Getting free damage to the side. Chasing down Lucio. Gonna get him. Wins out of the fight. Canada fighting it back. AKF. Desperation EMP. They use it for XQC. And this is so back and forth right now, Jake.
This is still winnable for Team France. It's AKM and Soon lighting up the kill feed. Somehow coming back. I thought this was for sure Canada's team fight. France flips it back. But again, Canada, they have so much progress on the point. And flipping it back, getting the overtime trigger during that team fight. France, they really didn't move themselves forward so much. And they paid a lot of ultimates, made a lot of comp swaps. So now this is looking even more difficult than that last team fight.
And you have it here coming in from Canada. It's not quite a full GOAT setup. They're running Winston here with the Brigida. We'll see how it works out as soon as going to be looking for that pulse bomb early on. Dives on in, let it go. And I think it was Eden. It's out of the fight immediately. XQC finds Poco. Canada rolling in. The EMP's been dropped. Benbest out of the fight. And Canada on their way to taking map 1.
Sureform showing why some people consider him to be one of the best Sombras in the game. That's great decision making. He knows that the team fight is all about the point. Brings France to him, has the EMP ready to shut them down. And it's Canada looking to take Mega Base and map 1 Busan.
This is real close. France though, desperation coming in. Respawns back, Benbest in, but out just as quickly. Canada, they drop the beat. Untouchable right now in the moment. And France, how much more do they have left? Throwing body after buying the fight. XQC cleaning house, knocks him off. This is Canada territory, and they take map 1.
Canada proving the power of their composition. Mangachu, I want to say, playing really well on that map, getting a lot of value out of all of his heroes, showing why that flexibility, that individual strength for Team Canada is what they rely on. This is a team that, some people talk about them being less practiced, and that is true. We heard from them that they hadn't had quite as much time to scrim and prepare as some of the other World Cup teams, but in reality, this is a team that has always thrived in that chaotic environment, thrived on that trust of their team and their own individual skill. So I like that they're sticking to their guns. They're playing their best characters, the playstyles that they feel comfortable on, and they're making it work. That's what you like to see here in the Overwatch World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I really like how you highlighted Mangachu here, right? Where he has been sort of the man of a million heroes. I said 1,000, I'm going to million. I'm just going to continually elevate it. But he's just such a versatile player where you look at that series that what went on there, right? Where, okay, he's going to do a little bit Pharah, a little bit Doomfist, Brigida. Mangachu has such a deep hero pool, and Canada was able to get good use out of it for a map like Busan, where you do see the styles change quite a bit.
And we knew Team Canada would have those bright spots. We knew that some of the players on that team are just so incredibly skilled. You're always going to see them perform at a high level. But what I wasn't quite expecting from Team Canada was this level of coordination. Playing that Sombra, Doomfist, Winston, D.Va, it's not a simple composition. If one player goes in just a moment too early, they're going to be completely destroyed by all the control of the enemy team, especially against that heavy 3-3 setup. Forcing France off of that 3-3 setup that they played for almost the entire group stage, Canada seems to have the mental control right now. They're saying that our comp is dominant, we're winning. If you don't switch and adapt to us, we're going to destroy you. So France, maybe they're going to go back to their guns, play what they're most confident in, that classic European 3-3 style, or maybe they're going to have to adapt and do what Canada does. I'm really excited to see what we see on this next map.
So right now you're hankering for more information from the French team. Well, you know what? I got you covered. We got Fiona down on the floor with France.
What is up, everyone? The first map is over. The fans are cheering. France was able to take one round, but unfortunately, Canada did take those other 2 rounds from them. But hey, we've got our fans supporting. France needs their support. Let's go. Let's make some noise. Allez la France! Mangachu is definitely a problem for France, and I believe that France will still push and prove that the EU is ready for the big leagues. Alors, bon, avec le 6, bonne chance les Français. Good luck, everybody. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Fiona. Of course, the French team here, they absolutely do not give up, and they're one of the most experienced squads that you can find in Overwatch, where the desk talked about a little bit. You know, you could say this team is a little bit roguish because that, of course, was a team they were on way back when for many of these players. But, of course, this is a deep team. We are going to be seeing some subs here in a moment, but let's take a look at the highlights from that first map. And I got to say here, we saw some McCree play.
AKM forcing Mangachu to constantly run away from him, getting the pick off here. That's so important. Mangachu was doing a great job juking him, though. But here, this is such a big cleanup fight for McCree.
And that's what McCree likes, right? Where you have a man advantage, and suddenly no one can really pressure the McCree, and an unpressured McCree is someone who's just going to demolish your team.
Oh, and look at that bash combo. Perfectly played. The stuns coming out from Team France, setting up BenBest, and that's what we call trust combo. You really can't react on that. Look at this timing. Oh my, BenBest thought he was completely safe there. I would have thought the same. Wow, that's absolutely cutting it to the last second. Surefour knows his timings.
Yeah, and Surefour probably did that while looking chill as a cucumber. That is his style. He goes, yeah, I pressed EMP, it's fine.
Yeah, Surefour's one of those players, you know, I was talking with him yesterday. He's just not worried about it, you know? He's staying calm, and I think what's so exciting about that is, you know, if you are the incredibly serious player, you really do want to be the best in the world. It's actually not about, you know, putting yourself to the most intense level and maximum energy. Sometimes it is about being that cold-blooded killer, you know, staying totally calm, and, you know, really cooler heads do prevail in these intense LAN environments. The crowd is loud, everyone's excited. You have to be the one that stays calm and executes. And so far, Canada's making that look easy on Busan.
And Canada, they're not going to be happy just with a map 1 win. They're still going to be making changes. And one of those changes coming up here, it's going to be Agilities coming in for this Team Canada roster. And of course, Agility is a man that doesn't need much introduction. You think about his hero pool. Why do you bring in Agilities? Part of it, when you want a really good Genji player.
Exactly. I mean, Agilities and Mangachu, they're similar players, but that projectile role is so fickle. You really want the right balance of projectile heroes. I think of Agilities as a player who's insanely good at those really fast projectile heroes. Mangachu, I would say, is I want him on those. I want him on Pharah. I want him on Hanzo. I want him on those, you know, long-range, perfect prediction characters. But Agilities is a player that just seems unjukable. He dashes you on Genji with no abilities up and still gets the kill. He's just an incredibly impressive player on those fast characters.
So Jake, I got to ask you, we're going to Eichenwald next here, but this is a map where even though those 3-3 compositions to be quite good on first and third, second, usually it's not quite the case. What do you think we're going to see from this French team?
Well, this is a big moment from them. They have to kind of show what their style is. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe the Pharah come out on first, but still, tough matchup against Agilities. No slouch on the Pharah either. I would love to see some Pharah on Pharah action. Of course, that new patch to Pharah makes her a lot more exciting in those air duels. They're going to be a lot more explosive, aggressive. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. First point Pharah on Pharah is a classic Eichenwald strategy. Of course, these roofs are so difficult to deal with, and the Pharah constantly sliding around the geometry, pressuring your backline.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you think back to old Pharah v Pharah as kind of a slow dance. It took place over a long period of time, and sometimes nothing happened. Now Pharah v Pharah, it is a blitz. One Pharah is going to fall in spectacular fashion, and that's just because she is so much quicker at landing those rockets. And by the way, guys, you take a look right there. Don't forget to vote for your Overwatch T-Mobile MVP. Of course, your vote does matter.
Use that hashtag, put their battle tag in the tweet. It's going to work out. Vote for who you think deserves the award this year.
So, we're hanging Eichenwald, and it's going to be Canada on the defense first. And, you know, we're talking about the Pharah v Pharah, Jake, and it is going to be happening here in the beginning as Canada is going on a very dive-heavy defense.
Maybe. I don't think Poco is going to come out on the Pharah. There might be a little bit of a troll, maybe trying to make some noise and spawn, mislead Team Canada. But Team Canada going with this heavy dive style, and France sticking to their guns. They want to stick with this classic tanky setup. AKM on the McCree going to give them a little more of that vertical flexibility that Zarya doesn't quite offer as well. But BenBest on the Winston as well. This is a very interesting composition. One of those new metas that we've seen moving on here. The speed boost on McCree is so dangerous. He can get right up in the Pharah's face.
Right now holding lots of rockets going in the BenBest right now, already 30% to a barrage. And dealing with the Pharah, going to be a troublesome moment here for France, where AKM, again, has to put a lot of his time looking to the sky. BenBest down early, but Crimso's down. Not going to be able to res yourself. And France, they can work with this.
Now it's time for France to slow play. You see Agility's dropping down to 1 HP, but it's almost impossible for Benny to heal him on the Lucio. It's such a difficult matchup. You know, that's really the supports don't match up. So AKM's pick onto Crimzo, it really doesn't get better than that. Pick the Mercy first. That's basically a free team fight. So AKM showing why France chooses to put him on the McCree and give him the resources.
No doubt about it. AKM quite good at dealing with the Pharah there. And of course, the reason why you go to Agilities here isn't even necessarily the Pharah, where you have to think at some point in this map, Agilities is going to be going over to the Genji, because if you were just doing pure Pharah, you would keep Mangachu in.
Yeah, I'm surprised he made Agility's respawn on the Pharah. It looks like he's going to come back on Doomfist. I really like Doomfist Sombra on this second point. That high ground is such a dangerous initiation for Doomfist, but of course, McCree with that flashbang, that's a very volatile matchup. If you flash the Doomfist, he could just as easily fall as pick your whole team.
Canada got dive on XQC, getting focused heavily. Had to immediately go back the other way and still gonna fall. Couldn't get out of danger in time. 5 on 5. You get the Brigida though, and anytime you get the Brigida, you have to be a little bit cautious. He's such a huge part of this composition. Canada, they know it. They're gonna go back in. They deal with Unco, and the flank from Canada gonna do its work.
Perfect EMP from Surefour, gets so much cleanup value from his team. That's going to give them all a lot more ultimate charge to work with. So important just after they made a few compositional swaps. We see Crimzo off the Mercy onto the Ana, and he almost has a Nano boost. Nano is so crucial in this team fight. Imagine XQC on 60% would really be struggling to get that Primal, but the Nano is really going to change that. It's going to make it a lot easier. And now France, they don't have as many offensive tools anymore. Might start to stall out a little bit with this tanky setup on Iconwall.
Interesting from Canada. Surefour was thinking about going Widow, decided against, goes back over to the Sombra. Poco under pressure, gets demeched immediately. Absolutely surgical from Canada to isolate him out there. And now, when you deal with the tank that early in the fight, it just means you can be aggressive, Jake. You can be as aggressive as you want.
This is the power of dive comp. You see France taking the high ground, but Canada just don't care. They're wrapping around them, staying away, kiting. Poco still out of his mech. Easy pick off for a Nano Winston. XQC finishes Poco just before the remech. This is going to be a major cleanup for Team Canada. France, they have to pull something out of the bag, but it's looking rough in this team fight.
He's just going to walk on over, and XQC, he has nothing to feel threatened by. Had a Primal Rage in reserve, didn't need it. Canada just able to get the cleanup they're looking for. France getting stalled out very heavily here at the beginning of Eichenwald, and it doesn't seem to have any signs of letting up.
I do like the switch from Unco off the Zenyatta onto the Moira. It's going to make it a lot more difficult for Agilities to pressure the support solo, but at the same time, it's not a perfect counter. You lose a lot of damage, you lose a lot of that focus potential, so it's going to require a little bit more team focus to keep that damage flowing with a Moira on your team.
Canada, of course, using the high ground well, gonna dive on once more, wins, takes a punch to the face, fighting his way back though, knocked onto Agility's head, wasting a lot of this Doomfist time, wins! Nice ability there to keep himself out of danger, but here's the problem, France was still getting dove on. The barrier comes out late because Wins is fighting for his life, and Canada still makes the most out of the situation.
That's a pretty major mistake from Wins. The barrier has absolutely no one on his team. I think he thought maybe that they were pushed up a little further, that dropping the beat there could quite get it onto his team, but he wasn't correct there. Gets absolutely no one but himself, and that's just essentially a wasted ultimate there. Canada sitting pretty here on a few teamfight ultimates, ready to go. XQC trying to farm another Primal Rage. Poco needs to pull a serious bomb out of his hat for this one.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, you have Ben Best with the Earth Shatter. AKM about to have the EMP. Needs to be a good EMP to set this all off. They've been in this choke point just way too long. Wins, almost falling early. Gets healed up just in the nick of time. Agilities drops on down, though. Make sure he stays down this time. An early pickup for Canada. And France, they invested the EMP into this fight, and it's not paying off. Canada still doing more from that drop down. The drop down dive, Jake, has just been so good.
The other thing to highlight here is Surefour hacking that Mega. We saw Soon go looking for it, but overextending his team. Canada absolutely destroyed by the Earth Shatter from Ben Best, turning things around. Canada feeling a little bit overconfident, winning a few free team fights. They think they can chase into the spawn, but Ben Best says no. France looking to make some progress on the cart. A little bit of hubris from Team Canada there.
Anyone who's played any amount of ladder just cringed at that moment. Said, guys, we won the fight, just back out. Ben Best goes, by the way, I know a lot of people press Q, but I didn't.
He's been holding that Shatter for so long, and sometimes that's the right play against a dive comp. Instead of just throwing out your Shatter and getting one kill, you can wait and make the enemy scared to deal with you. Soon, going a little bit deep here though, might get punished, separated by Agilities, and chased down by XQC. They're trying to heal him up. This is such an important team fight to win, but Soon dropping low. The too focused from Canada, too much.
Soon being really durable with Brigida, but sometimes too much is too much. EMP though, coming out from France, they still think they can take this fight. Gonna drop the Coalescence, Unco, beaming him down, but XQC going deeper, Primal up, Disruption coming in from Canada, and this is gonna buy time for the respawners to get back in. XQC might have fallen, but we'll see what Canada does with this time here as Crimzo is in the back of the Nano.
A little bit of an overextension by XQC, but it does buy a ton of time for his team. They're going to be able to regroup, and France with, of course, a major spawn disadvantage. Canada's going to have a little bit of an edge in this team fight. Big initiation on the EMP by Agilities with the Nano Boost, going even for absolutely everybody. Doesn't even want to use the ult here. France going off the map. They need a reset. They know that they can't win this team fight.
Well, when you see the Diva walk off the map, not as a baby Diva, but in the mech, you know you won the fight pretty solidly. Canada, one fight away from holding France here on point B in Eichenwald. Uh-oh, AKM went for it.
AKM going with the classic strategy, attempting the back up there. It's nice, keeps the cart from rolling back, but this is one of the toughest scenarios in the entire game to be caught in. Eichenwald in this situation is so difficult. Canada knows exactly where Team France will go, and they have to travel so far to reach the cart. This is a major opportunity for Agilities to initiate on them. Oh, and a perfect initiation! Takes out Benbest. This looks so grim for Team France. Agilities doing whatever he wants on the doofus. Goes down for AKM with the hack. Oh, the TP out just in time, though. Keeps AKM alive.
Yeah, translocates out, but here's the problem for France. You still gotta touch the points! Agilities being the vanguard in the front, gonna loop back around. France having to invest everything. Final opportunity to break down that castle door. Nope, gonna get D-Mac. France finding opportunity. Poco making space. 1.8 meters. France moving on in. Benbest shatter ready, but falls. Can't get the shatter in time, but it's so overwhelming right now for France. They just need a few more clean-off pick-offs. Agility knocked on down, and that castle door is done.
I think Poco just picked up an 8K there, just absolutely destroying and starting it all off with that crucial bomb pick onto Crimzo. Losing the Ana means that everyone else from Team Canada is now much more vulnerable. So Poco, really the savior of that team fight, somehow keeping France alive. EMP, shatter, and absolute aggression from Team France, playing their comp to perfection and sending Canada running right back to the spawn. Canada, they have one chance to full hold here on Eichen.
This is momentum coming out from the French team. Their backs were against the wall, and they ran right through that wall directly at Canada. Surefour, though, has an EMP. Gonna look to slow it on down. Dropped EMP. Benbest immediately taken down. The beat has been dropped. Canada moving back the other way. Self-destruct out from Note, making space, and France needs to cool their jets. They get one more attempt, Jake.
A lot of ults coming out here from Team Canada. Even the Nano onto Surefour super late. They really need to get a last-second pick here. If they're using all these ults to send France packing, I mean, France still has time to come back into this point and reset. Canada might be regretting the use of that Nano boost and self-destruct. Really didn't get much out of those ults. France was already retreating, so Canada as well getting a little bit overconfident again. Maybe it'll bite them.
It very well could soon. Going to be opening up here with the rally. Extra armor going to France. He's going to let them feel tankier, feel more confident as they move on in. Early charge coming up. Benbest, though, healed back up. Both teams fighting this war, poking to try and deal. As you see, he's about to get the shatter and fight it. No! Can't drop the hammer, but it's still early pickoffs for Canada. Able to make their mark. The payload stops right here.
That Brigida versus Brigida matchup is so contentious. It's so important to be that last Brigida alive, to outlast your opponent, and Agilities does exactly that in that team fight. They managed to win even without the Nano boost. They didn't really need it. Canada playing really clean there, coming back, but wow, France, what an impressive team fight. I thought for sure they would be held at second.
Yeah, it was looking quite grim there for France, but Poco turning it on when it matters most. And then you gotta give credit to AKM, where even though they weren't able to get that final fight, you think back to the fight beforehand where he just seized the opportunity with a highly aggressive EMP and the rest of his team there to clean up. This is respectable on Eichenwald. It's not a map that teams always complete. This is defensible here for France.
Yeah, definitely a winnable situation, but Team Canada probably going to be happy with that. They have a win condition before them. If they can just reach the cart to that point, map's over. There's no overtime rounds that will be happening here on Eichenwald. So Canada, they do want to take control of this series. They do want to come out swinging, and that first attack on burst point is going to be so crucial. I mean, it felt like France was being held forever on second, but that's only because they had so much time. I mean, think about how long it took them to eventually cap second. If not for AKM's heroics on first, getting that instant pick, would they have even made it through to third? So Canada, they want to do the same. They want to win that first fight, get that tempo rolling, and hopefully do a little bit better than Team France did on that second point.
Well, you really bring up a salient point here, which is that oftentimes teams can get a longer defense on point A. We've seen full holds here on point A. So if France wants to make a difference here as you look towards their defense, the best way of doing so is to simply gum up Canada and not let them get that early first point take. And they're getting sneaky.
They're setting up for these aggressive plays into the spawn, but it's so important that they catch a frag here soon. Scouting everyone, but so is Note. Note knows that someone might be hiding here. Looks like Soon got the drop on him, but no quick picks for Team France. They need to find something with this initiation.
They really wanted something immediately there. That was the power of the flank, but now they have to struggle to regain their positioning. XQC gonna get healed on up, not focused. Brigida sleeping in the back, and Canada, they get into this early courtyard because France wasn't able to execute that surprise quite as well, but Agilities is gonna be going to the far here.
maybe the Doomfist, we could see both come out. Somber Doom, that classic Goat's counter, or at least it's supposed to be. Doesn't always work out that way, especially if Soon plays perfectly on this Brigitte. He can really mess things up if he can stop these initiations. You see Agilities can't really go in when the Brigitta's there threatening to stun. AKM though on 100 energy. That's not supposed to happen against Divecom. He's destroying them with this Zarya. So dangerous. You cannot allow the Zarya to reach high charge if you're going to play this Somber Doom comp. It's so important to have that trigger discipline, but AKM's perfect bubbles keeping him energized. Now with that new Zarya patch, he's going to hold it for even longer.
What's the difference with Doomfist on the attack here versus defense?
Well, it's going to be a lot harder to find those initiations. You can't just camp on high grounds and drop in at your pleasure. You have to take the fight to them. And oftentimes, France is going to be controlling those positions because they know the map just as well. AKM, though, with the grab, looking to play it defensively. He knows he doesn't need to just aggressively kill anybody. All he has to do is stop a Doomfist, but misses everybody. Doesn't find anything with it.
It's not Eden. It just doesn't hit anyone. So, same difference in the end. Crimzo going to fall, and France just, again, being highly aggressive here off that. It's like, okay, our grab didn't do anything. Doesn't really matter. We're just going to roll right into you.
I mean, a classic zoning grab does actually force the tanks to back out from Team Canada, and Crimzo's left alone, no one to protect him. So it does end up working out for AKM, and it honestly doesn't matter too much. Grab, not actually such an important ultimate in this matchup, surprisingly. Big shout out from Benbest, gets both tanks. Can they capitalize? No, moved away, no pin connection.
It was really preemptive, too. You take a look at the rest of France. They were way behind Benbest there. Surefour now seizing the opportunity, drops to EMP, and France is going to get punished from Benbest over aggression here. You're down 2 members early on, and this is where the name of the game goes. Brigitte just got beaten in that corner. XQC making a lot of people happy with this Winston play right now as Canada rolls onto the point.
You know, I don't even hate that play from Benbest because he knows he needs to get aggressive and catch Canada off guard. If he just sits back and waits at the choke, he knows that Surefour's EMP and Node's self-destruct are coming right through, and we saw how devastating that combo was on Mecha Base. So I actually like that thought process from Benbest. He needs to get in that fight and win it before it even happens, and it looks like France wants to do that again. I love this, taking the team fight before the gate. The gate's going to slow the offense down regardless, but if you stop them before the gate, you can get even more time off the clock.
It's not just time, also you want Canada to invest some resources, but the funny thing here is that they don't have much to invest. France is way ahead in the ultimate economy game right now, and they're more than willing to just be tanky, more than willing to just delay. You see Note though, does find Unco, nice pick off the front line of Canada, is starting to make quite a bit of room here, but France, they swing it right back, and more importantly, Jake, the payload is not moving while this goes on.
Yeah, a lot of team fighting happening here on this point, but as you said, it does buy about a minute off the clock for Team France. So overall, I think the strategy was successful. Really, Canada has only just begun second point, so with only 3 minutes to work with, they really need to win a crucial team fight here, but Canada doing such a great job of winning that fight efficiently. That's exactly what you talked about. France wanted to beat those ults, but it really doesn't feel like they accomplished that. Canada is almost ready to have 5 ultimates. They've got 3 ready right now and 2 waiting in the wings. Benbest, though, getting separated from the rest of his team. That could be dangerous.
Agility's looking for the pickup here. Surefour, he already got wins. Canada working out that man advantage. Poco in trouble, though, gonna get demacked. And Canada just controlling the pace of the fight. France is trying to go for a highly aggro setup. Doesn't work. Agility's drops on down. But now, again, for France, it's how long can they delay?
Exactly, they need to slow Canada down, but Canada's offense is looking a lot cleaner than France's. I really just like this Somber Doom comp a lot more on second point. There's so much high ground, it can be so difficult to challenge. Really, Canada doesn't have to make any big plays. It's France who needs to find those kills because eventually, over time, you're gonna have those EMPs drop in, you're gonna have those self-destructs drop in. France doesn't have as clear a road to teamfight victory. AKM's gonna have a tough time getting a grab and a 6-man EMP.
Oh, EMP coming right in. AKM, no way to use the grab. Don't blows them all up. But that was set up by Surefour. Just did a little bit of Castlevania, jumping on up, then jumps on down, turns out the lights, and the castle door gonna get knocked down by Canada right here, right now.
Perfect team play from Team Canada. They don't look unpracticed to me. I mean, already making the swap onto the Rein Zarya almost instantly, and maybe Surefour will stick with the Saba. No, I like this. He's going over to the Zarya. They want to match up those heavy tank setups here on last point where they're so effective. But Canada, they're looking clean. They're looking practiced. Looks like they know their stuff, and they're playing their strats. So I like to see this out of them. They're looking really good here.
And they have 3 minutes here. So, okay, even if France lands a good grab, well, they use the self-destruct early on here. Unco can use the Coalescence, and so they get to save the grab for a bit. But here's the problem. Canada can go through multiple rotations here of draining out ults from France and put themselves in that winning position.
Canada does have 2 team fights ahead of them. Not much card progress through the 3rd point. If they do need to they need to win at the gate doors and then win at that final capture point. So France, they want to play for that double team fight. Great play here, great positioning on the map. And the rally comes out. Could be difficult to deal with. Agility's managed to get in with a nano, but can't really finishing anything off with that armor.
Well, the good part here for him, though, is that he is in good health. Going to drop back on down. Looks Benbest gets shielded back all the while. Still, though, turning into a bit of a brawl. Wins down early. Canada not backing out here just yet. Or you see Agility's about to go big, and then Benbest drops the shatter, knocks down 3, but soon to have the fight. The follow through, not going to be there. France starting the fall as Canada turns the tempo of the fight to their favor.
It's a big shatter from Benbest, but an even bigger beat from Banny. Perfect timing on the Lucio, and that's some alliteration for you here on the broadcast. Banny looking clean on this Lucio. I mean, it's a character that's hard to get noticed on, but just making no mistakes here, staying alive throughout these team fights. So important, and now it's XQC with the shatter, ready to shut them down, but doesn't find anybody. Perfect bubbles from AKM.
It was on a razor's edge, but he gets nothing in the end. France coming back out strong, back the other way, chasing it on down. Canada must retreat. 1:40 left here, Jake. That gives him about 2 solid attempts.
Yeah, that's a classic uppercut shatter combo attempted by Agility's and XQC. You know, Agility's does do his part, does put Benbest up in the air. Huge nuke, though, coming in from Poco. Very aggressive play from Team France. I'm really surprised to see them fighting like this. Using a lot of ultimates, not getting a ton out of it. Canada with the groundswell of ultimates, though, coming back into this maybe.
And you got to look towards Surefour. He's going to have the grab up for the next fight. Poco going to be looking the nom it right on up soon. Out of the fight. Grab in from Surefour, and they use it just to isolate AKM. Canada diving on in. Benbest next on the menu. Surefour all charged up, looking for it, but no. Going to turn back the other way. You see the transcends from France, letting them hold their ground. 2 down, and France 1 fight away from evening up this series.
Maybe I spoke too soon on the practice front. We saw Agility's get off the Doomfist onto the Brigida. Feels like that was more effective, but now he's back on the Doomfist. That's a lot of indecision. That's not what you want to see here on Eichenwald 3rd point. It's really important on a point like this to have your stretch just rehearsed down to a dime. So Canada might be punished here. Now he's back to the Brigida. Canada maybe not sure exactly how they want to play this. They need to pull something out of the bag here.
And the big part here, they got to avoid the Earth Shatter. Benbest, he's so aggro here because he knows he can land it. He can be the hero. He can win the game right now. Just waiting for the opportunity. They're going to go through the side door. Benbest waiting. The weight of the team on his shoulders. He's going to back up a little bit. AKM, a little bit of space. Benbest going back forward. Gets stunned, waiting. Sound barrier out from Canada. But the shatter strikes! 4 knocked down by Benbest, and they don't care about the music. They don't care about the beat as they move back into Canada.
And now it's the Transcendence from Unko, going to put a period on Eichenwald. It looks like total control for Team France. No way through the trans, but they're not finding the picks. Somehow Team Canada looking to stabilize after that massive shatter. Agility's on the Doomfist, could get back in. This is insane. I can't believe Canada turning this team fight.
This is absolutely nuts. Canada bringing it right back over. France wasn't able to capitalize on the shatter, and suddenly Canada on the verge of going up 2 maps to 0. Look at AKM, though, holding on to the grab. Can they even touch a point in time? France got to get the payload. They do. AKM looking for the grab. Doesn't want to get eaten. Drops the grab. Picks up 4. Follow through. Are you there? No, not quite yet. Unco looking for the XQC. Making room. France struggling. It's not enough. Canada gonna take map 2.
Oh my word, I absolutely cannot believe that. I thought it was all over when Benbest dropped the shatter. I have not seen a team win a fight after a 5-man shatter comes down. Danny's beat keeping just enough players alive to scramble back in that team fight. Maybe a bit of overconfidence from France after they see the shatter come down, but the cooler heads prevail. This is what we've been talking about. Canada, a team that just is playing to their strengths. They're trusting themselves, playing confidently. Agility's with some minor being a little bit unsure of himself there at the end, switching between Brigida and Doomfist. Finds his footing, though, in the end, and they do take map 2. This is a ton of momentum for Team Canada. They essentially challenge the GOATS matchup and beat it. It looks like their strategy is dominant right now.
Canada looking to close us out in a 3-0 sweep, but guys, we got to take a break. When we come back, the desk is going to break it all down.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup, and by T-Mobile, America's fastest unlimited network.
Hey, Doa, thanks for the ride.
No problem.
I've got something you've got to hear. This car has a pretty good sound system, right?
Yeah, the best.
Excellent. Because we're going to need to hear the whole range to really appreciate this. It's a thing of beauty. You ready?
I am as ready as I'll ever be.
This is Monte Cristo, and today we're going to take a look at a strategic breakdown of the latest match between the Los Angeles Gladiators and the Seoul Dynasty. Right off the bat, we're going to get a couple of environmental kills, but we have to look at the response as well
like I've
from
heard
the
this one
side
before.
of the
It's
Seoul
like
Dynasty.
honey dripping into your ears, all of the treble and the bass working together in perfect harmony.
Oh,
it's a thing of beauty.
It's like an
Ancient Norse deity decided to open his mouth and... You just don't appreciate art. That's it. That is definitely it.
Shamelessly original, the Toyota CHR. Toyota, let's go places.
The 2018 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you in part by Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA.
Welcome back, everyone, to the desk here for the Overwatch World Cup 2018 as Canada and France are squaring off. I'm Golden Boy, joined, of course, by Brent Reinforced Sideshow. And wow, I mean, Canada looking very, very strong. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to say something
Brendan
here.
Sideshow looking really weak with the predictions
very
so far.
true. It's very true.
Pal.
It's been an interesting day.
It's been a close game, though.
It has been. It has been. And there was something I did want to kind of latch onto, though. Okay, because before the game started, Reinforced, you made a bold proclamation.
Okay.
You said that Surefour is the best Sombra in the world. People on the internet have cursed your name, said you are wrong.
Well, they are wrong. You are wrong. And I think he showed it in this very match that he is the best Sombra player in the world, specifically on Busan. I think that he was one of the big factors as to why they won that game. His EMP timings with the D.Va self-destructs, enabling Mangachu on the Doomfist, allowing them to shut down this triple tank, triple support composition. I think that Surefour has been stellar so far throughout the entire World Cup. Throughout the entire World Cup, even in the qualifiers, he really enables this team with his Sombra play. So I'm really impressed by this guy, and he is the best
You're
Sombra player.
selling me on it. Whoa. Stop right there, Sunshine. Okay, stay in your seat right over there. It's my time to talk. All right? It's not Sunshine. It's just my nickname for him. It's a little bit of cutie like that. But I'm honestly swayed by your argument here, Johnny, realistically. I've been watching Surefour closely in this match because I was desperate to prove you wrong, as we do. And I've been noticing doing a lot of stuff that a lot of other Sombra players don't really do. He's very smart in the way he moves around the map. He's always waiting for, if the enemy team is also running a Sombra, he'll try and get an early hack off onto that to sort of counter it in a way. He's very smart in the way he also approaches the backline and whenever he's trying to get these picks onto these supports. So all around, I have been impressed. But Josh, there you go. You can speak your mind
You
now.
actually sounded smart when saying that.
That's because he watched the game. He watched the game and did analysis for once. That's why. But I think the issue is, yes, Surefour has had an incredible game, incredible series, etc. But how can you call him the best Sombra in the world when we haven't had the Overwatch League for so long, Sombra wasn't meta, and we haven't even seen teams like South Korea play?
Name some of them.
Libero, for example, could easily come out with Team South Korea and bop Surefour right on the head.
I think if Libero is supposed to be the best Sombra in the world, then I think you would utilize him as a tool, and I don't think any team has properly done that yet. So I'm looking at Surefour's play here with these EMPs, and I'm pretty confident that he is the best.
Okay. All right, that's perfect timing, but it's too perfect. If he'd been a millisecond too late on that
that's why he is the best Sombra player in the world.
Absolutely not. If he uses that EMP a second earlier, then it's actually safer for everybody.
That is that is such an absurd statement.
No, it's not. He was
so perfect. It's too perfect.
He was actually late for that EMP and just saved it in the nick of time.
Can we get Josh off the desk and I can have his pay for this event? Like, clearly we're all disagreeing.
Okay, I feel like you're also just trying to take his paycheck. You live with the
man. Don't get me wrong. Surefour is an incredible player, and I think he's powering Team Canada through this alongside Mangachu and Agilities, who both pair really well on their Doomfist style. They've kind of been bopping Team France in the strategic game. It's not to say that France haven't been keeping it close, but Canada are always one step ahead of them. Even when they're playing the same comps, Canada edging it out. They're countering them really well, so I think Canada are playing very well. I just think it's too early to say that anybody is the best Sombra in the world, especially based on World Cup rather than...
What about Esker, Josh?
Esker.
What about Esker?
If Esker still played, he'd be more washed up than XQC socks. No, don't. He had his time.
Which was not in the box.
Not anymore, no.
So not very washed up at all then, is what you're saying?
More. Just more of a stench.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
I think it's
just got a bit of a musk to him.
He's a legend.
All right, so we have been talking a lot, though, and about this Canadian roster, most importantly, Surefour in that Sombra. But real quick, though, I do want to touch on France real fast. Toward the end of that Eichenwald game, it looked like it was going to be 1-1 going into the half. It looked like France were going to stop that. What happened?
In my opinion, it's still anyone's game, but it's like minor mistakes that are causing France to not really take advantage of this, right? They're struggling to finish up a lot of these targets, especially so towards the end of Eichenwald, right? When they were just literally goats versus goats, okay? The triple tank, triple support compositions against each other. Canada were playing very well, and they were outplaying them in that regard, but these games, in my mind, still anyone's match.
Yeah, I think France are actually executing their composition really well. But the thing is, Canada is reading it, and Bonnie specifically is doing a great job at calling for his team how to counter France's plans. So they're essentially one step ahead of the game, and it's been very noticeable so far throughout the entire series.
Well, France is going to have to figure it out going into Game 3. And if there is a squad that could, it will be the Frenchmen. But Canada looking pretty good thus far. Let's go back into the action, send it over to your casters, the really nicely dressed Jake and ZP.
Thank you, Golden Boy. You know what? We bought some suits, and clearly that means we know what we're doing. Maybe not. They're a little bit uncomfortable, but hey, the sacrifices you make for TV.
That's what you got to do. It's, you know, it's fun to wear a suit sometimes. It's good to get into that.
Absolutely. Well, guys, you know what? You take a look at Team Canada. They've been doing pretty well here, but what makes a team? The players. That's right. If you see a player right now on this Canada squad that you think deserves to be MVP, the Team Mobile MVP, tweet us, #TeamMobileMVP. And of course, I think, Jake, there might be one player in Canada that people are a little bit partial to. I don't want to really just bias the crowd, but I think they have a favorite already.
What are you talking about? I can't guess. I mean, I'll have to see the Twitter, you know, to catch up with it.
I don't know, but I think the guy might like Juice. I'm not quite sure where it comes from, but, you know, if you like the Juice, if you want to vote for it, well, you know what to do. Don't forget the players' battle tag at the very end. But, Jake, this is matchup here so far, even though Canada's up 2-0, it's been pretty close, and you could imagine a world where France brings us back.
It really doesn't feel like Canada is in this really firm grip on this series. It doesn't feel like they're absolutely blowing France out. Like the desk was saying, it comes back to those minor mistakes. It comes back to those little tiny moments of team play where Canada is just somehow pulling it together. I want to highlight Banny, one of my teammates, really playing impressively well on Lucio, a character that he spoke about having to sort of learn and catch up on for the World Cup, having not been experienced as a main Lucio player before. But he's really been impressing me with his beat timing. I mean, he's been finding those beats. We saw Ben Best, 2 absolutely massive, almost 5 or 6 man shatters are just countered by Banny's beat. I mean, it looked like there at the end with Ben Best dropping 5 players on the ground, only Banny left up. It looked like that was all over for Team Canada. It looked like there was no chance, but Banny's beat kept just enough players alive. The timing was just perfect that they were able to come back and win that fight. That shows the impact of those little micro decisions on Lucio. It's easy to look at a DPS player and say, okay, well, that guy's popping off and just destroying everybody. He's lighting up the kill feed. But when a Lucio player keeps your whole team alive, that's the only reason that Surefour on 100 energy can finish off the map, is because of that essential enabling by the Lucio. This is something that also I talked about with Surefour just the other day, is it's not about the individual in Overwatch, it's about the team. And Canada, they're coming together stronger here.
Absolutely. And by the way, gotta love the camaraderie for your teammate there, Jake Banny. He's been great. But guys, we do have some substitutions coming in play. Of course, we can sub after every map. And there he is, the man himself, Nico, gonna be subbing in. And fun bit of trivia, Nico was in the very first Overwatch game I ever casted. It was me and Hex doing a casting audition. Wasn't even live. We're just like, all right, we're gonna cast this. He played Reaper, by the way.
Good old Reaper. Been a while since we've seen him in the metagame. Maybe he'll be making a return soon. Might need a little bit of tuning to get there. Looks like on our Assault map type, France is going to select Anubis. Very interesting choice. In fact, I'm quite surprised to see Anubis here. I would really think of this map as not that classic triple tank setup 2CP. I mean, really, I feel like the Doomfist, the Sombra have been standbys, even in metas where they weren't really played together. So really, this is a surprising map choice from Team France. Maybe they've got something that we're not quite prepared for.
It's going to be very interesting. And of course, Anubis is a map where obviously it's kind of had its ebbs and flows in the Overwatch scene. It hasn't always been the most popular of maps for teams, but that also is kind of an opportunity, I'd say, where if you know that other teams aren't practicing this map as much, it could be an ace in the hole when the chips are down. And certainly for France right now, they need the buy back in.
This is a map that really shakes things up. If nothing else, it's very, very different than other maps in Overwatch. Even in the Assault map type, Temple of Anubis is just completely unique. The geometry, unlike anything else. So France may be feeling like they've lost control of this series. They want to shake things up in a really drastic way, but I can't help feeling like this is going to play to Canada's strengths. Surefour and Agility's known as some really impressive players on this map type. Agility's no slouch in the Junkrat, and oh baby, I hope he gets some rip tires because I'm going to be raiding them.
You know, you're not on camera right now, but guys, let me tell you that Jake his file went from like a 5 to a 12 out of 10. That was actually ridiculous. The man loves Junkrat. But speaking of love here, France gonna be coming out with Nico on the Genji. And what do you think of Genji specialists here on Anubis?
I mean, it looks to me like we're right back in stage 2 again. Canada bringing out the full treehouse comp, sitting up with their Orisa, spamming them down. It's all on agilities and Surefour. They need to find the picks, while France, they need to slip by, get into those flanks, and pressure Surefour out of this position. But he's so dangerous up here. Perfect protection by Poco. There's no chance for a shot there.
France going to get through the first hurdle, that early archway. Now, going to be swinging back over. What do we see here from Agilities, though? He's going to be laying down the damage here, just trying to suppress them, make it so they don't get a clean opening. France, pretty poked down, but not gone yet. Stu, going to fall early, but so is Agilities. The Junkrat out of the fight, but Surefour starting to clean up from the back. Absolutely no one on him.
Good patience by Banny, comes in for the res. Now that Team France is forced to back off. They use all their resources to pick up Agilities, but he's just rezzed up, he's just back, and it really didn't feel like there was any pressure on Surefour. Now he's up to 72% on his Infrasight, and pushing into that ability on Anubis is nearly impossible. A lot of ults banking up for Team Canada. France, this is really their best shot to take first point with some good amount of time left.
Does Nico have to split off and get separation on the Surefour?
I mean, it's so difficult to do that because on this map, you're always split from your healers. Genji on the flank is completely alone. He has to rely entirely on packs. That's why we see some teams elect to play the Sombra here. You can see the awareness from Surefour. He understands the call from his team, knows where the Genji's flanking from, is going to try and protect it.
Surefour keeping a good eye on that. The rest of France, though, using the opportunity to dive on in. Nano boost on the Poco, chases down his counterpart. Nico, though, blown up. Now he looks for the tire. What's it going to be? Takes down both supports. Jake, give me a rated.
That's an 8.5 right there. Clean execution, moves through the high ground, final jukes on the last commitment. That's just technique. Crystal clear, perfect execution. Agilities, making it look real easy.
Agilities making Junkrat look good right now. When you want to talk about the next fight, Surefour going to have the Infrasight up. What does France do?
The challenge here is that anything that they do is going to be scouted by Team Canada. And perfect timing by Surefour, by the way, as well. Now that France is already in, they can't really retreat out the choke. That's also a dangerous play. They're kind of caught in this flank and just at the mercy of whatever Team Canada wants to throw at them. Canada, though, playing it slow, playing it cautious. But Nico finding it hard to just get up the wall, get behind. He's going to commit his dash and go all the way to the back line. Wants to set up with his teammates soon.
And Nico has to be the story here, right? What does he do on this flank? He's invested a lot. He has a Dragon Blade. France down to 1:40. Surefour going to loop all the way around, make this as difficult as possible for Genji. Looks for the pickoff, can't find it. Poco gonna remech as a result. France now moving on in. Nico hanging on to the blade. Canada very discombobulated right now. Positioning not really where they would like it. Nico, though, under pressure. Can't put the blade at 10 HP. Gonna fall! Nico down to the Widow Mine, and Canada fighting it back.
The poison from Surefour, and look at this incredibly disciplined play by Crimzo. We saw his teammates dropping low. A lot of players looked like they might fall, but Crimzo with the discipline to hold on to the Transcendence, it's still ready for Nico's blade. Nico can't feel confident about pulling that sword out when he knows Crimzo's going to be very quick on that trigger.
Blade versus tire, what happens?
This can be a tough matchup. It can go both ways, but generally, I feel like Agility is going to be advantaged here, mostly because Crimzo has the Transcendence. He doesn't have to be too far forward to protect his teammates. He knows that they can last for quite a while with the Trance. He can take the time to get the perfect tire and hopefully shut down the blade.
France gonna move in, they drop the beat. Nico still doesn't pull out the blade, didn't like what he saw. Tire going back the other way, looking on over, supports inside, no! Doesn't get Unco, he's able to live just in the nick of time, but Surefour still a threat. Here comes Nico, blade looking for the support, gets Crimzo, it's not clean, but it might be enough. France able to rotate onto the point. They do enough damage, and with 22 seconds remaining here, Jake, they will get point A.
More or less an OT capture there. The ultimate's not quite coming together for Team Canada. In that fight, we see Crimzo did get his Transcendence Force before the blade comes out, so Nico's just able to clean house, and with the major spawn advantage that France has, they do take first point, but that's really not what you want on Temple of Anubis. You want that momentum. You want ultimates to use, and France forced into a full swap situation. This could catch Canada off guard, though. Agilities on the Brigida is not going to be very effective against such a heavy tank composition. He's already switching, and so is Banny, but they're not even going to be out into the team fight. France, they've already crossed the most difficult part of the map. Surefour instantly punished.
Not where you want to be right there. Gonna roll his way up as France has decided the sign in the arena was right. Go Goat's forehead, but Benbest taken down early. The Reinhardt so important to making this work. Agilities on the Doomfist swap, doing quite well here for Canada, and they will reject France out of the point.
Doomfist is just so powerful on Anubis' second point against the Goats composition. I mean, Goats is strong, triple tank, triple support is strong, but on this point, it's just free for the Doomfist to fly in from any high ground. Poco dropping his bomb, but I don't agree with this commitment at all. Using ultimates doesn't really produce anything in this circumstance. There's really not much chance of turning anything around or getting any advantage when you're this far from point B on on a map like Temple of Anubis. Poco maybe making a bit of an error there, and Canada looking to capitalize. They're building up a big bank of ultimates of their own. France has kind of lost that tempo that they gained from switching to that 3-3 comp first.
It was such an error from Poco there that I thought he'd be swapping, even though it doesn't make any sense since he plays D.Va so much. It just, to use the ultimate there was very strange. But France, they're going to roll back over and begin rolling. Sherfor going to roll and rock his way right back on down, making space here on the Hammond. And if you don't have a Sombra to deal with the Hammond here, it's so difficult to shut him down. He does a lot of disruption, and counter Shatter coming in from XQC, but Malter is there. Benbest looking for a Shatter of his own, gets a little bit airtime, finds Banny, and France starting to get the better of this fight.
France trying to stabilize here. The bomb does come out from Note, but he's not able to find anything. It looks like France getting the better of this team fight, but it's so incredibly scrappy. Hammond and Doomfist making it so hard for France to stay together, but they're managing it, and it's Nico on high energy. If they can't take down this Zarya, they have no chance at holding the point. France ticking up towards 100% capture, and Canada can't even contest, can't maintain that aggressive play that carried them through the first defense.
So that fight escalated rather quickly there in favor of France. What was the key breaking point that gave them that opportunity?
I mean, this goes back to the center of what these tanky compositions are all about, which is the ultimates. We saw the support ults come out one after another, and it was just France with the greater discipline, holding them just a little bit longer and managing to have that last word. Their beat drop was the final ultimate of that team fight, or the final support ultimate of the team fight, which gives their players those extra few seconds to deal real damage while they still have the barriers protecting themselves. So France, they're able to cap second point, able to set a tone, for this map, and Canada, now they're going to have to come out with a good offense of their own. The real question here, though, is will France go their path with that, Junkrat Widow setup, or will they go for a more classic of this current meta, like a 3-3 or a Somber Doom?
Well, so far it feels like, from what we've seen so far, Canada is much more comfortable on points and situations that are more wide open, like point A, whereas France, they felt a little bit better in places that are a little bit up close and personal. But as we look here to France being on the defense, they are going to be going with a similar setup here for their defense, including the Junkrat. Meanwhile, you look at Canada, you're going to see Agilities on the Genji, and what might be different for Agilities coming in here in the Genji compared to what we saw from Nico?
Well, the first difference, of course, they're both really strong Genji players, so the first difference for me is having Sherfor on the Sombra as opposed to a Tracer. Sombra with that EMP gives you a way to sort of trick and somehow win the ultimate economy even when it's not really in your favor. So this gives Agilities a little bit more options on the win condition. He doesn't absolutely have to force the trance. He's got another teammate who can kind of apply a similar pressure on the Zenyatta, the trance, but Uncle's not even on Zen, so France is going with no defensive support ults. Both of these support ults are really more in that aggressive category, so they're really going to need to keep the pressure on Canada, denying them any initiations.
It's something that's going to depend on Nico as well as going to fish saying as Agilities gets blown up immediately. And while the Junkrat is being so aggressive, so is soon Battle Widow coming into play where they go, oh, you guys want to sit up in here? We're going to chase you as if we were attacking once more. And this is actually doing okay. XQC lucky to get away with his life there as France is being insanely aggressive.
Applying pressure in this way is so important with the Ana Mercy comp. You need to win that first team fight and start snowballing ultimates because you really can't deal with something like a Nano Blade.
See the Nano Boost coming in from XQC. Space being created here from Canada. Moving forward, looking to put pressure. Zoom down. Agility's able to get one of the key targets. Ends up giving his life for it, though. And now things get a little bit scrappy. But this is good for the offense. Banny in the back, close to a Transcendence. Might be able to use it to finish it out. But ideally, Jake, he'd like to save it as Canada now is grinding down this French defense.
Banny absolutely free farming here on point. That's 3 for Banny. Gets a 4th. Lighting it up and celebrating. That's deserved right there. Banny looking good. Great positioning in that team fight, keeps him alive for the cleanup. And as you said, Discipline doesn't need the Transcendence, knows he can just frag out, take the point all on his own. So Banny looking really sick here.
Is EMP and Transcendence enough for this next fight?
This is going to be a really challenging fight. The Riptire from Nico doesn't have an obvious response for Team Canada, and Note has to make that double swap to get back in his mech on the D.Va, so he'll be getting into the team fight. The question is, can Nico find something with the tire? Banny's forced to trance early, maybe some aggression coming out from Team France, but the trance really not producing anything. Canada not able to find frags off of it.
Yeah, the Transcendence definitely preemptive. France doing a good job of just forcing him out. Meanwhile, Sherfor, he's been caught. They knew his Sombra would be back here, and he's just barely able to get out in time. Meanwhile, oh, what a sleep coming in. Nap time for Agilities, courtesy of Unco. And France, they needed that bad because this fight is still rough, but not rough anymore. Nico gonna run 2 people right over, and France gets some direly needed stabilization.
Great tire from Nico, knows he just needs to swap off that Junkrat. Not so effective against the dive setup. Now he's onto the Doomfist. This makes a lot of sense, and this is a comp that I really think makes just a ton of sense for Anubis' second point. Doomfist constantly on the high ground, can always drop in on those oncoming attackers, and Sombra, what a perfect setup for Doomfist, dropping those EMPs, those hacks, and the health packs on this point are even more crucial than almost any other 2CP in the game, so Poco is certainly going to be looking to abuse that. Surefour, though, somehow finds Nico before the fight begins. That's a major pickoff.
Storm arrows are coming, and Canada looking for a way in. XQC gonna go really aggressive because he has the primal. Decides to pop it and found Unco. A great use of being that aggressive to get out with your life. And now we see Canada really turning the screws here. The France, they're gonna rotate right onto the point. XQC gonna continue to make space. It's gonna be up to Nico to find a random pick here, but he's under pressure. He's gonna not quite fall, gets healed back up in time, but it's still even. Canada, again, burning everything to get back in on this point, but France is doing a great job of just delaying.
The nano comes out on XQC, but he's retreating right as it comes in, so he's really not going to find full value off of that, but getting just enough here maybe. Oh, and the Doomfist combo as well. Catches wins off guard. He can't escape. Now Poco demagged, and the Dragon's coming right down mid. It's going to be a real struggle for France to come back and contest this point. Team Canada holding strong and cleaning up the tanks. No one's on the point. They need to stop this objective, but it's Canada's overwhelming pressure here that's going to capture second.
Soon, finds a little bit of time, wins, throws himself at the point, but it's not enough. Poco can't get a chance to use that bomb at the very end. And I gotta tell you, Jake, you take a look at the circumstances here. It is a much quicker time for Canada. And of course, if Canada is able to capitalize on that, if they're able to have a great defense here and stop France, that will give them the 3-0 sweep to go directly into the semifinals tomorrow.
Canada is certainly going to be feeling good about their prospects right now, on the brink of victory in the quarterfinal, want to punch their ticket to that semifinal and potentially even go further, and right now it certainly looks like they could. I mean, there were a lot of question marks about this team coming into the tournament. Have they practiced enough? Are these players the right players? Can they stack up against some of these other rosters? But they're just playing this cool, calm, and collected Overwatch. They don't feel like they have to make those big plays, right? We haven't seen those players overextending, trying to make something happen solo. Everything is done in concert. I want to really highlight Surefour, especially for that Hanzo pick against the Doomfist Sombra. It makes so much sense. The Sonic Arrow kind of deny that Sombra from being able to invis and sneak into your backline. You can catch her out and force her away. And at the same time, Hanzo's one of the best characters at assaulting that initial high ground. He is able to kill Nico, who's really the centerpiece of that defensive aggression. They want to dive with Nico, but when he falls first, they really are lost. I mean, their composition kind of falls apart. So Surefour playing really well on the Hanzo, accomplishing his role basically perfectly here. And now France about to be tested again by the Junkrat and Widow, the Gauntlet.
We'll see just how it works, of course, soon. Not deciding to go to Widow, was thinking about it, but going to be going Tracer instead. So once more for France, it is this GT dive.
It really brings back memories seeing these compositions, exactly what we saw in the Overwatch League here. Let's see if Canada continues to get aggressive into that side flank. This time Surefour likes to stay a little closer, doesn't quite want to rotate across yet, he needs his grapple cooldown.
And I think part of that is that you don't want to be predictable. He doesn't want to meet soon in that dark alleyway. Might not be super pleasant, and right now you have this mind game to the left, but meanwhile Nico was able to deal with Crimzo. France doing way more in this first attack. Nico opening it wide here for France, and they're going to roll directly into a point, and this is what they needed with the time deficit of the first round.
This is really nice aggression from Team France. Last time they were in the same situation, Canada pushed right into them on the flank, but this time France is ready, and they're the ones to start the aggression off. Picking both supports like that is essentially the end of the fight on Anubis' first point. You have such a big spawn advantage as Team France, and they don't even need it. Nobody dying there on that offense, making it look very easy, and switching to this 3-3 comp that also worked very quickly on second. So Canada, they need an answer for this. They need to respond. They cannot allow this cap to go through. That would be absolutely terrible.
What do you think? Oh, Surefour going to May. He was on McCree for a while and decides, you know what? We really want to chill out here in the most literal of ways. Gonna drop the ice wall, but it doesn't split France. The wall there, you need to get more. Now there's a window of opportunity for France to move in. While the wall's on cooldown, they don't really take the most of it here. Another attempted wall coming on in. Best nano boost, charging over to the side. Again, working to bisect the team. Swing the hammer a few more times to get stunned. Isolated, healed back up. Best still up. What great heals coming in from Unco. Saves his main tank. France still with 6. Down goes Surefour. France moving on in.
The name of the game is staying alive here. Banny finds the first pick of Canada's team fight, takes down Unko. That's actually a crucial fight here, denies one of the main healers for Team France. The wheels could start to fall off, but France, they're holding strong at the point. They could just snowball through here.
This is fantastic. Unko set it up. He's going to swap to the boy right now as France is so close. One tick on this point already, and nothing but sheer dominance. Hammond not going to be rolling out of that one. The grab has you, and it's cold embrace as France, it's pick off after pick off. 2 ticks about to be their way, Jake.
Crimzo can't make it to point. He's 90 on the nano boost, but there's no target for him. He's bashed down. France in total control, trying to finish this cap before overtime, and it looks like they might just do it. Banny desperately wall riding to the point, but he can't quite make it in time. Surefour picked off.
Oh,
we have
on the
overtime.
clock! Time left on the clock! That is massive! That means that even if Canada comes through and double caps themselves, you're gonna get one more attack for France. Those 4 seconds, Jake, so important.
Makes a major difference here. Canada's road to ending this series just got a lot longer. They've got multiple rounds to win ahead of them. So France, maybe they figured out Anubis. Maybe this is why they picked that map. I mean, that 3-3 attack on the second point just looks so clean, clinical, and practiced from Team France. That seems like their wheelhouse, which is, you know, ironic because normally you would consider the second point of Anubis one of the most difficult maps to take in the entire game. So France being so dominant there, showing why they picked this map, why they feel so confident about being able to win here.
And not only that, but you gotta think about this French team where these are veterans upon veterans. If anyone could come back and pull a reverse sweep for those dedicated fans right there, it is the team we are watching right now.
This is something we talked with them about in our meeting. They're a team with a ton of experience. They've all played in the LAN environment before. They all understand the pressures associated with it. And they were saying is, you know, we feel like if we can start to take maps off them, they're going to crumble. They don't think Canada has the same mental fortitude. They feel like it doesn't matter. You know, they've been in the situations, they've been down 2, and they know they can reverse sweep, so they're going to do it again. And we're going to see if that's the reality here on this quarterfinal stage.
Canada, a long way to go. They still have 4 minutes, so France not out of the woodwork here yet, but they have to feel good soon. Looking to apply the Widow pressure early on, not quite able to find the head of Ana there, but France, with the aid of Poco up there, keeping Soon well protected. Now they're going to rotate back.
It's nice poking aggression from Team Canada, keeping the pressure on Soon so he doesn't have those free sightlines on the supports and spawn. Nice discipline from Crimzo and Banny to be so slow out of the gate, sort of make sure everything's clear, but not this time. Banny picked off at the choke, and that's going to be a reset for Team Canada. Both supports dropping, and wow, Soon already has an infocyte to work with.
He just absolutely crushed XQC. Woo. Absolutely dominant coming out here from Soon, and you know, it's almost like this guy was an OWL all-star when it came to Widowmaker.
Feels like I've been here before. Soon on Widow defense on Anubis first. Doesn't feel very defensive to me. He's peeking very aggressive right now. Canada needs an answer. They might be able to slip through this time. Nice distraction from Surefour. Might buy the time his team needs. Oh, the sleep.
Unko is playing out of his mind right now. The heals on Ben Best in the last round. The pickoff on Surefour this round. So much time now being bought here for France as they want to turn the series back around.
Very, very close here, but again, losing Surefour like that to the sleep, it's so impactful. As soon as you lose one player on Temple of Anubis offense, you're kind of often forced to reset. It's so difficult to break the Orisa, you don't even want to try without your full roster all together. Canada, though, doing much the same that France did, but I like the way France is playing this. They're not fully committing, but it's Agility's blade. Oh, shuts down the Riptire. Looks for 4.
Slash the tire right on through. He didn't explode it in time. That was on a razor's edge. And Canada is gonna cut on through. They're gonna grab this first point and get an attempt on point B.
Wins popping the Valkyrie, trying desperately to full hold, but not able to make it happen here. I guess that's probably because he wants to switch off the Mercy onto a Lucio. Surprising to still see him come up on the Mercy. No. Going over to the Lucio. I like this decision making. And France, back to that Somber Doom. All they need to do is hit a full hold here, right? That first point, it's not necessary. They didn't need to make that hold. They can still win the map and still begin a potential comeback if they can hold here.
And historically, it is much more difficult to get point B than point A, but Surefour, he goes, you know what? I actually got the easy mode for this. I'm setting up here at the EMP. I'm gonna talk with my team, give them scouting info, and when the time is right, he's gonna drop it. But here's the problem, France is so aggressive that Surefour didn't get the chance. Crimzo down early, and okay, they're still gonna go for it. They drop the EMP down 1. This is dangerous, but they think they can make it work. The problem is, they're down XQC. They don't have the healing that they normally have to keep him up, but still, they're on the point. Gonna get one tick, self-destruct comes in, and France gonna have to try to find a way to fight this back.
It's definitely a very surprising commitment from Team Canada. Not everybody all together, but Agilities finds one with the blade, looking to get more resets. Benbes goes very deep with the nano, but a major overextension there, completely shut down by all the focus power coming out from Canada. And this fight might somehow work out. A very unorthodox commitment from Team Canada, but they're making it work. XQC, he still has that primal rage. He can still disrupt, and France, they don't have any ultimates to work with just yet.
They have to throw themselves on the point, right into a ready and waiting XQC. Banny with the fancy footwork right to the face, as Canada is in such a good spot. They deal with the French reinforcements. 3-0 here so far. They get dominance back on the point, and we're going to even more rounds here, Jake.
Canada, again, just doing it better, getting an even faster time in the second set of offense-defense swaps. So Canada, I mean, they're looking dominant here, but it's anybody's game at this point. I feel like it's flipped both ways. We've seen Canada make an impressive hold on first and lose first instantly. We've seen much the same from France. So really, I really feel like any of these teams could do it. Now it's about who makes that correct adaptation, who properly anticipates what their opponents are going to bring to bear.
I think something that's key to note here is that given the momentum that you can get on Anubis, France is definitely working with less time here, but if you get that good early attack, it might not matter. And don't forget here for France as well, this is a true best of 5, right? Where you're not in a situation where a draw still means you might lose the series. No, we go until one team properly gets 3.
Certainly winnable here for Team France, but it has to all begin here on Temple of Anubis. They need to make it happen, and Canada's the one with the major time bank advantage. They're going to have a few shots at this offense, and France is really looking at a one shot. I mean, they don't really have anything, no potential to reset. I mean, there's just not enough time on a map like Temple of Anubis. Setting up for one good team fight takes so long. Often it can take more than a minute. So France, they're in a really rough spot here. There needs to be some big plays coming out. I wonder if Canada will be caught out again, and I really don't expect that. I mean, Crimzo and Banny got found really quick by Nico last round, and I'd really expect him to be a lot more passive and careful this round.
It's just about how you deal with that pressure coming on in, where this time it's not going to be a GT dive. You're going to have Soon coming in here in the Sombra, so it is a change-up, and that can help Nico tremendously.
Gives him a lot more potential to snowball in second as well. That EMP, much more impactful of an ultimate than the Pulse Bomb.
We'll see how Soon sets us up. Obviously going to be working rather closely here with Nico. You see Benbes on his perch. It's all about this initiation. 34 seconds left. See what goes on here. Nico, he get hacked, but he's still in a safe spot, and time is being burned right now.
It's actually very important. Benbes forced to use his bubble to protect his teammate there with the hack. But Agilities finds Uncle. That's an absolutely game-changing pick. Puts a trap on the Benbes. Wants to get that frag as well. Absolutely opening this fight up is Agilities on the jump grab. Very nice play there.
Absolutely, and that is what you needed here on the other end. But take a look at France. Nico setting up in the back line. Doesn't have a blade, but maybe good position for a pick off Canada. They'd like to hold strong. Final 2 seconds here. Sure4 finds Soon, and no one touches the point!
Really no chance for Team France to win a team fight like that. And now really it's all up to Canada. They just need to achieve one tick on the first point for that clean 3-0 sweep in this quarterfinal. Canada really going beyond expectations here, playing a lot better than I think a lot of people predicted them to.
Now let's set the stakes here for those at home wondering what is going to happen. Of course, you have a replay of the final fight here where you see Sure4 that early pick and no one able to get on the point, but the stakes could not be clearer. Canada, if they get 33% on this first point, they go to the semifinals and they eliminate France right now.
Certainly could happen, and it's really looking that way. It feels like from that defense, Canada has maybe patched up those leaks, figured out what went wrong on that second round of defense, and now back to the offense. They have looked really strong at first point. It hasn't felt like a major sticking point for them or any major problem. So now, really, I expect France to be bringing an adaptation, but it doesn't look like they want to. They feel confident about this on a Mercy setup. This might be a struggle. I mean, they don't have a Transcendence. They don't have a beat drop. There's no clean answer to a Nano Blade, and you can bet your bottom dollar that Agilities will be finding one of those this round.
2 minutes and 22 seconds. That's a lot of time to set up some great ultimate situations. How does France burn this time off?
It's honestly all on the playmakers. Nico and Soon, we need to see them producing here. We need to see pickoff after pickoff. You cannot allow Canada to get set up. You cannot allow them to take the team fights they want to take, because when those ultimates are brought to bear, you won't be able to stop a strong team fight. You'll only be able to hold with picks like this. Soon lighting it up right now, finds one. Agilities tries to push him back, wants to get his old teammate from the Valiant off and away from this high ground, but Soon says no. He's right back in position, wants to continue spawn camping, and Nico finds Sure4 as well. This is the beginning of a whole
hold. Jake, you're writing the script, and France is acting it out right now as we speak. But they're gonna need a lot more than that.
Yeah, Soon forced off his aggressive perch. Now Canada managing to sneak into the flank. A little bit slow there, a little bit sloppy, but they're not punished this time. Soon continuing to rotate, and he almost has that infra sight. It's so important. It's so difficult to set up those big flanks that you want to with the dive when the enemy can see every move. But Nico, his mind is caught by the D.Va. Huge play by Note.
Surefour able to finish it off towards the very end. One pickoff here for Canada. Remember, they just need a little bit on the point. Soon gonna fall. The playmakers we talked about down. Soon, res back up. Crimzo though, gonna nano. XQC moving in. Team Canada, gotta love this, moving in. And now, France on their final legs here in the Overwatch World Cup. Canada about to advance. They need a bit more on the point. XQC, let it all out. Rage to your heart's content as Canada makes the space they need. Point A is theirs, and they move on to the semifinals.
That's a 3-0 from Team Canada over Team France. We saw the death they thought France would win. Shows what they know. Team Canada looking so clean here, playing so well, and with so much trust and just team play here. I mean, this is a team we know they haven't practiced as much as others. They are relying on trusting each other, building that natural synergy. And we can see Jane celebrating Bandy. Bandy definitely having a breakout performance here.
And I'll tell you what, he's celebrating. I got a chance to talk to him a bit before, and Canada was really worried about their ability to deal with a top-class GOATS team like France. Yesterday's preparation wasn't everything they expected and more, but in the end, they rise to the occasion. They finish the sweep. But guys, you don't want to go anywhere, because when we come back, we got the most electrifying host in esports entertainment, Golden Boy, leading the discussions on what just happened.
All right, well, get the poutine out, roll out the Canadian bacon. Or just the bacon in this case, because USA's out.
Poutine.
That's right,
So
poutine.
good.
Poutine is delicious. Canada moves on 3-0. Man.
I think the French will be saying something pretty similar to poutine.
Yeah, oh,
Possibly. Baguette.
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 Yeah, that was baguette.
Saying
man,
baguette.
guys, you know, I just also want to say here real fast that, you know, Reinforce, way to go, buddy. You were the only one who got, although your scoreline was off.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, it's down below, Sideshow, so you can pick it up.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. All right, Sideshow.
I think this will motivate me not to...
I think I've established dominance on the desk so
make
far.
poor decisions.
not to,
that's how it goes.
Should never go against Jonathan.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and send it over to Mika, who's got Crimzo standing by.
Hey guys, I got Crimzo here from Team Canada. You heard the fans. They are cheering, they are chanting for your country. About, you said 12 months ago you were finally flying under the radar in the Overwatch community, but now you are here. You have taken this game in a 3-0. How are you feeling?
This is honestly insane. You know, 12 months ago I was just playing ladder. I wasn't really on teams. But now I'm playing here on the biggest, one of the biggest stages, and I'm just super happy.
We're super happy, you're super happy, and everyone out there is so proud of you. One more question. Do you think that we will be seeing Canada in the finals once again?
I definitely think we're going to go again to the finals.
You heard it here first. We're going to be seeing Canada in the finals, but for now, we're going to take it back to the desk.
Well, it's going to be a difficult road for them to get there without a doubt, as there's still so many talented teams left in this competition, and they would have to go up against the United Kingdom, who have proven to us that they have what it takes, especially taking down USA. And, you know, what's going on over here?
I just got my prediction wrong.
It's accepted responsibility.
I wish we could zoom in, because there's this little strand of hair that's sticking out of Sideshow's head, and it is so good. It is so good.
I got a little curl on my forehead.
Oh, man. It's just amazing. Okay, so, all right.
Just a reminder, don't slip up in predictions.
Don't slip up in predictions.
We're getting the zoom in. We're getting the zoom in.
Yeah, zoom in on that little strand of hair.
Straight on there.
All right. Here's the deal. Okay, the conversation coming into this event was all about the triple tank, triple support composition, also known as the GOATS composition. This is the thing that everyone was saying would be like the star, but it feels like Canada, they're just doing it their own way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that when you look at the teams that were coming into this tournament who are expected to do really well, like, for example, the USA as well, they had really worked on this triple tank, triple support composition and were trying to make it work for really well. But Canada have shown here that not only have they developed their own ability to play... Hello.
Everything about this.
Continue.
Continue.
Not only have they developed their own way of doing it, they've developed a counter composition. And so Team France were really thrown off their game. And I think Canada may have shown everybody else that if you play the Sombra Doomfist kind of stuff as well as you can, you're going to be able to disrupt teams that are playing GOATs. They can't just rely on the triple tank, triple support compositions.
I mean, yeah, sure, but then again, I don't think France had the best execution either of the triple tank, triple support composition. If you compare France to teams like, say, Finland, I think this matchup will end up very differently. So I'm looking out for other triple tank, triple support teams like the UK.
So you were not bought in?
No, I don't. I think Canada has fantastic execution. It's what I asked for before the series. I said, if you want to beat France, you have to stick to your guns, and that's Sombra and Doomfist. So I'm just saying, the way Finland executes. Yeah, that's almost what they failed to do, yeah. But then going up against Finland, who has so much experience playing this comp, knows literally every scenario, has thought it out. I think this matchup will go very differently. Agilities got slept several times with the Striker Blade. He got a tire, but it didn't get tons of value. So still, there are some question marks around Canada for me, and I have other teams that are favorites.
I'm nowhere near as one-sided as you guys when it comes to this, because early on, I was of the opinion that the GOATS composition, the triple tank, triple support that we're seeing, if a team overly relied on it, I thought they were going to get absolutely destroyed. Right now, I don't know if that's still the case, but it seems like, again, I can't make up my opinion until I see the rest of these teams in the tournament play right now. It seems too early to call GOATS the be-all, end-all.
Did I set a bad precedent for you? Is that the case?
Yes, you did.
I think my issue with your argument, though, Johnny, is that France were better than the Team UK. Right, when it came to the group stages. The only team that we saw that might potentially be better are Finland. We don't actually know because they didn't go head-to-head. France have been scrimming against Eagle Gaming, who everybody said when it came to the Paris stop were the best triple tank, triple support team in the world. You couldn't counter what they were playing. Everybody ended up playing the GOAT composition. If France have learned from that and then get countered so hard by Team Canada, like, can't you just run that against anybody that runs that?
I'm just saying, I wasn't entirely convinced by France's execution of the triple tank, triple support composition. So I'm just saying that the matchup could go differently if they face Finland, who I see as the best triple tank, triple support team in the world.
The only way that we would potentially get that, am I wrong here, is that in the final?
No, that's a semi-final bracket.
Oh, semi-final, sorry.
So Canada and Finland are on the same side of the bracket.
I'm sorry, you're right.
So
I was wrong.
Yeah, so Canada have this kind of anti-triple tank style, and they would have to face France in the quarters, Finland in the semis. So they've already proved that concept that they can destroy them. So unless you're correct and Finland are just far better at executing, I think Canada are looking great for a final spot. Unless, of course, China comes out, which they definitely could.
Very true. Well, the good news is for myself, I need to know what the bracket looks like and the schedule. So there you go. There's the schedule. So we got Canada, France just concluded 3-0. Next up, we have China versus Finland, and then our last match of the evening, Australia versus South Korea. Very, very interesting matchups coming in here, you know, because we've seen a lot of that counterplay come into effect. Maybe China could be one of those teams that does that. Who knows? Anything is possible. The matchup that a lot of people are looking forward to is that South Korea-Australia game. And we have our boy Danny, who's the insider for South Korea. Danny, what you got for us, pal?
Alrighty, that was from the desk. Thank you. What's up, everybody? My name is Danny Lim, and I am your Korean insider. 여러분, 안녕하십니까? 한국 캐스터 중에 한 명인 데니라고 합니다. 만나서 반갑습니다. And Blizzcon, as you guys could all see, we have a very, very special guest standing right next to me. Blizzcon, make some noise for Carpe! Carpe, thank you so much for being here with me. Quick question. In our interview, you said that you are 100% sure that Team Korea is going to become the champions once again. But after watching today's matches, are you sure you still feel that way? 오늘 저희랑 인터뷰를 하셨을 때 저한테 카르페 선수가 이런 말씀을 하셨죠. 질 가능성 없습니다. 100% 한국 팀이 이깁니다. 오늘 경기를 보고 나서도 똑같은 생각이신지 궁금하네요.
다른 팀들이 다 잘해서 저희도 긴장은 하고 있지만 그래도 이번 시즌에도 저희가 100% 우승할 것 같습니다.
Yes, I still do believe that we're going to win 100%. Everybody, give it up for Carpe one more time. Now, one more question, Carpe. You guys will be fighting against Team Australia very, very soon. If you can make a prediction, what do you think will be the final score of that match? 자, 오늘 호주와의 경기 예상 어떻게 하십니까?
당연히 3대 0이요.
Easy sweep 3-0. Everybody, you heard the man. With that come true, Team Australia versus Team South Korea coming your way very, very soon. But for now, take it away, Desk.
Aye. Oh, the spice.
Picante.
Picante. You know, it had to be a Desk to reinforce what I'm saying, picante one time. Okay, so to respond, we actually got Mika, who's down with a member of Team Australia to get their thoughts. Mika, what's going on in the arena?
That's right, I got Custa here from Team Australia. So you just heard that prime smack talk from Carpe over there. How are you feeling hearing that they're going to sweep you?
I think we're going to put up as big of a fight as we can. They obviously have amazing players, but they might be surprised. We've seen crazy upsets today, so we out here.
You're not wrong there. And so how are you feeling? Like, what's your prep going into such a pretty intimidating matchup against South Korea?
Yeah, because of how mechanically talented and how skillful they are, we're going to throw a couple of curveballs at them here and there, maybe see how well they adapt. So anything could happen. It'll be interesting. Looking forward to the crowd sort of being behind us. I hope everyone wants us to win. Everyone loves an underdog story, so we can hope.
That's true. I do love the Aussie crowd. They are always loud, they are always powerful. But for now, we're going to kick it back over to that Desk.
Thank you so much for that. Always a pleasure to hear from Custa. And, he's trying to be humble. you know he wants to bring the thunder, but he's going to get the gameplay. He's going to let that do the talking. Okay? Now.
Sure.
All right.
I genuinely think that Australia have a reasonable, is what I want to say, chance of taking this against that.
Why?
I'll give you some reasoning, okay?
Yeah.
South Korea, they've changed up their roster recently.
Yeah.
The most drastic change we've seen in the Overwatch League, getting rid of 3 of their players, replacing them with 3 more. Minimal time to practice. Fury's been in the United Kingdoms, Fate's been in America, been playing with a ping disadvantage.
Okay.
The scrims have been all over the place, all over the world, quite literally.
Literally.
So I feel like Australia, where they've had, again, this practice time to prep, they know they're going to be going up against South Korea. They know they're playing up against. I reckon they got some spicy stuff up their
That sounds
sleeves.
great, Ben. What's good about Australia?
They're okay. They're not bad.
Yeah.
Trill's a good main tank. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Like, the guy actually specializes a lot on the hamster, Hammond, wrecking
Do you
ball.
think the hamster is going to beat South Korea? Is what you're saying?
I think it could. They could bring it up.
I love how it reinforces trying to
as well, Johnny, though, as well.
I just want to know.
Here's the thing. Wrecking Ball as well was weaker in the group stages when Australia were playing. Now that he's in a better place currently on the patch that we're playing, I feel like they're in a very reasonable position to take this.
I think he's got this kind of...
will take down South Korea. I got it.
Cool. Yeah.
I think Bren's gone mental with the UK upset. He now just truly believes that
I never said I was going to predict them, Josh.
all of the favourites are going to lose.
So I don't know why you're putting words in my mouth. We'll wait for the last match of the day, okay? But I genuinely feel like this is a match that nobody is going to want to miss because anything can happen.
Yeah, and that has been proven. I mean, we have the United Kingdom taking down the USA. A lot of people wrote off Canada in that match against Team France. You two, most notably.
Yeah, I said it was 50-50. How is that writing them off?
Yeah, definitely. So I agree with my colleagues here at Blizzcon, at the Overwatch World Cup. Anything can happen. It's going to be awesome. So we're going to go to a break. Coming up next, though, we have Team China going up against Team Finland. We're going to see Taimu and the boys take the stage. Let's see how it all pans out after this.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup, and by T-Mobile, America's fastest unlimited network.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.